Tried to fix it yourself? Now you've got a real problem on your hands. Don't sweat it. Call Precision Plumbing in Grand Forks. From leaks and clogs to water heaters and surprises. We'll get it fixed fast and fixed right. Upfront pricing, quality pros, and no judgment, just solutions. Call 701-795-1735 or book at precisionpe.com. Precision Plumbing. We rescue DIY plumbing disasters.
Get ready, Grand Forks. The Grand Outdoor Show presented by M&K Porta Potties is coming February 13th through the 15th at the Alaris Center. Explore over 100,000 square feet, packed with RVs, boats, docks, ATVs, snowmobiles, golf carts, and more, all under one roof. Check out vendors like Bemidji Marine, Lapeer Golf and Utility, Ray Sport Marine, Roth RV, and Tufty Marine Sales. Plus, enjoy beer tasting, food trucks, and fun for the whole family. Make plans to be there and find your next adventure at the Grand Outdoor Show.
The Grand Forks Spitfires are hitting the field this summer, and the excitement is already building. There are only 400 Spitfire 3-game packs left, and they're packed with value. Each ticket comes with a free meal, and the first 500 fans receive a free inaugural Spitfires hat. The only way into opening night is with a 3-game pack. Bring the whole family, enjoy the food, cheer loud, and be a part of history in the making. Don't wait. Get your 3-game pack today. Call 701-757-0596 or visit SpitfireSoftball.com.
News Radio 1310 KNOX AM Grand Forks, 107.9 and 103.3 KNOX FM, translated on K239BG in Grand Forks and K277DN in Grand Forks.
Well, we welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to Centennial Center and Centennial Arena here in Grafton, North Dakota today for our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports in Grand Forks, and also online at YouTube with KNOX TV and KNOXradio.com. It is the start of the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament today. We're rather proud and glad to be a part of bringing you Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament coverage here once again on KNOX Live Sports. And today will be one of the two play-in matchups inside the Eastern Dakota Conference. It'll be Grafton hosting West Fargo, with the winner moving on to the quarterfinals of the tournament. And this is do or die hockey today for both of these teams. It is winner move on and loser go home for 2025-26, and these two teams split the regular season series, with Grafton winning the most recent matchup by a score of 5-2. West Fargo winning in West Fargo by a score of 7-1 back in December. Ryan Cunningham with you today. Luca Carpenter will have our videography work today from Grafton, and we're looking at perhaps a little bit of an early start today, which would be just fine. They got started just a couple of moments ago in Devil's Lake, and the play-in that will determine who goes on to meet Grand Forks Red River. That will be Devil's Lake hosting Mayport area, and Grand Forks Central will get the winner of this matchup today between West Fargo and Grafton Park River. We're glad to have you with us here today in an Eastern Dakota Conference tournament that will take place with maybe a lot of news that's about to break, or at least may break, based on some of the stories that are out there involving the future of Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament hockey, and that's one of the things that we can tell you about as we get started today. News coming out that as far as statewide hockey is concerned, Watford City out in the West is going to become the 11th team in the West region. Could happen this coming season, could happen next season. It sounds like their girls will enter statewide competition as well as perhaps the 13th team that will step into the statewide league, and it looks like that is going to happen coming up in this coming season. But Watford City's departure from junior gold hockey into high school hockey is having some ripple effects. The Mayport area Ice Dogs, who are playing in that play-in matchup today in Devil's Lake, have got a situation in front of them where, with Watford City out and the loss of a tournament in Roseau, they're looking at having to sort of rebuild a schedule, and it would appear that we're going to see Mayport area come into the East Region tournament next year and the Eastern Dakota Conference schedule as well as a team that will play for some points in some capacity. Now, the details aren't out there as of yet, but I did confirm downstairs with West Fargo's coaching staff that they did see Mayport area on their schedule coming up for 26-27. So it would appear that we're going to see more of the Ice Dogs in the East region. And the word is out there. Now, again, we haven't been able to confirm this one, but there is word out there that the Langdon Blades, who have been a junior gold team of some notoriety in the region, are now also considering approaching the Eastern Dakota Conference to come in perhaps as the automatic number 11 seed in the East Region Tournament if they were to enter, or to perhaps come in and play as an Eastern Dakota Conference team. And with the addition of perhaps a couple of high school teams joining hockey, you'd be at 22, too shy of the 24-team threshold that you need to try to pursue 2 divisions of high school hockey in North Dakota. And just a little bit of an editorial on that, but 2 divisions of high school hockey in North Dakota really needs to take place. It's something that can't wait coming up for a long period of time. We have 3 divisions of high school basketball, 4 for football, and really what we need right now is the opportunity for some right sizing of schedules when it comes down to Eastern Dakota Conference hockey. And I know that there's been some reluctance on the part of the High School Activities Association to engage full on in a conversation about 2 divisions of hockey, but nonetheless, with some of the storylines that are out there, and again, much of this has yet to be completely confirmed. Just talking with some coaches, we know that Mayport area is going to step in and play some additional EDC games next year. We seem to know that Watford City is coming in as a high school hockey team. The Langdon connection is something that still needs to flesh itself out a little bit further going down the road, but there could be some changes in the tournament structure of this one coming up in the future. We already have a couple of play-in games, and play-in games are not the problem. Those are fine to cover, but there certainly are a couple of big scenarios when it comes down to who plays who and for how many times that will affect what players do when it comes down to staying at the high school level versus departing for junior hockey. It really comes down to the strength of schedule that their high school teams are going to be able to offer, and there is concern that with the additional teams coming in, your high school strength of schedule with only 21 games will be watered down a bit. So the East Region Coaches Meeting, which will be a week from today in Grand Forks, is probably going to be a rather interesting one about determining what the future of high school hockey will hold. That will be determined in a week. Today, we're going to determine who goes on to play Grand Forks at Purpur Arena coming up on Tuesday night. And one news and note about that game at Purpur Arena has now been moved up to 6 o'clock. Some of you may have seen some pre-tournament literature that showed that one at 7 o'clock. Red River and their matchup with either Devils Lake or Mayport area has always been scheduled for 6. And the Grafton, or I should say rather, the Grand Forks Central versus either Grafton Park River or West Fargo game will be now played at 6 o'clock coming up on Tuesday as well. So the winner here moves on to a Tuesday game in Grand Forks at 6. The loser will be done for 25-26, and it will be time to move on to the next endeavor of the spring for one of these 2 teams here today. This is our coverage of high school hockey. Coming up on our pregame report, brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment. We'll run down the tournament scenario, give you a complete look at how teams finished inside the Eastern Dakota Conference, and take you through the tournament schedule that we have coming up for you. Also, we'll introduce you to some of the players that will make the headlines happen in this one today with our tools for the game. And we'll take a look at our game keys coming up as well and find out what the key factors are going to be for both of these teams. A key factor today is going to be staying in the game for a full 51 minutes. That's one thing that both of these teams have in common. The second period has gotten away from both of them throughout the year, and the third period has gotten away a little bit more from West Fargo than it has from Grafton Park River. But second and third period scoring has been a real issue for both of these teams, and one of them is going to have to try to figure that part out as they make a tournament run. And we'll take you through those details coming up with our keys for the game as well. We're glad you joined us today for some Saturday afternoon hockey here in Grafton at Centennial Center. It's the Grafton Park River Spoilers, the West Fargo Packers, and we have it for you today. KNOX Radio and KNOX Live Sports with our YouTube link. And those of you watching with the National Federation of High Schools today, we thank you for joining us as well in that medium. We like to be in a lot of places. We certainly like to serve you. More of our pregame report is on the way in a couple of moments. We invite you to stay with us next.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our number one.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you, and Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey this afternoon on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. The coverage of this tournament game has been made possible in part by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association. We're, again, very glad and proud to be your exclusive sponsor and your exclusive outlet for video coverage of the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament over the next week. It'll be an 8-day tournament if weather doesn't impact the tournament. I know everybody loves to hear about that. The latest forecasting for weather says Tuesday night probably is doable, but could be a dicey night for getting home for a couple of teams that have to travel, and then we'll see if we can get things thinned out. I think the real concern right now for high school activities for the upcoming week is most likely what we're going to deal with when it comes down to the state wrestling tournament, which is supposed to take place in Fargo starting on Thursday. And Wednesday could be a very difficult travel day for teams that are going to the state tournament, and Tuesday night might not be a whole lot better when it comes down to travel based on some of the measurables that we're seeing when it comes down to the weather events that could happen out there. So you want to stay close to your sources of weather information coming up on Monday, because there will be some things to talk about there. Our pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. They have the John Deere products that you've come to know and love generationally in our area. And Signature Graphics and Apparel is ready to take care of those projects for your logo as well when it comes down to custom etching, plastic, metal, wood pieces, and affixing that to any sort of apparel that you're looking for. They can make your logo pop at Signature Graphics and Apparel. Well, let's take a look at Drive for the title that we have for you today, and this is how the regular season for the Eastern Dakota Conference comes to a conclusion this year. You can see that Grand Forks Central wins the league with just one blemish in the league, and that blemish wasn't a big one. That blemish involved a draw, actually not really a draw, but an overtime matchup that took place for Grand Forks Central when the Knights were taken to overtime at home by Fargo Davies earlier this season. And that really was the only blemish that they had throughout the course of the year. Other than that, they kind of made their way through the league. There were a couple of tough scrapes that went on during that time, but Grand Forks Central came in with a rather potent lineup. And when they came in with that lineup, well, they were able to play to the specs of that lineup, and they gained 47 points at the end of the season and win the conference by 8 points over Grand Forks Red River. Red River had 3 losses in the league, 2 of those to Grand Forks Central and 1 earlier to West Fargo Cheyenne. They came back to avenge that loss later on in the season. Fargo Davies with 30 points, West Fargo Cheyenne with 30. Davies gets the tiebreaker advantage over West Fargo Cheyenne, finishing in that 3rd place spot. Fargo Shanley with 21 points was 5th. North was 6th. Apologies. We've got those decals flipped around on your screen. We apologize for that. Shanley didn't get a new logo, neither did North. Shanley with 21 points, North with 19. And then the play-in matchups. Devils Lake finished with 16 points this year. Grafton Park River with 10. West Fargo with 4. Mayport area, as we mentioned when we got started, does not play for points in the East region yet, but the word is that likely next year they will do so. So the play-in matchups are today. We have West Fargo at Grafton Park River. That's the one we're set to bring you here. And Mayport area is at Devils Lake, and that game got started at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, as far as the tournament bracket and what that looks like going into the next level of hockey that we're going to have starting on Tuesday. So today are the play-in games, and you can see on your screen, for those of you that have joined us on KNOX Live Sports today, you can see on your screen that we're going to have an 8-9 winner that enters into play Central, and we'll have a 7-10 winner that enters into play Grand Forks Red River. Other than that, on Tuesday night, West Fargo Cheyenne will take on Fargo Shanley, and Fargo Davies will take on Fargo North. And so those matchups will come up on Tuesday night, with Central getting the winner of this matchup and Red River getting the winner of Devils Lake versus Mayport area. Those games going on, of course, today. Then on Friday, everything goes to Purple Arena. Tuesday will be at the site of the higher-seeded team. Then on Friday, there will be 2 games that go on. The top 2 on your column under that Friday matchup are the games that will be played in the semifinals. The bottom 2 will be the consolation semifinals that take place, and those bottom 2 matchups will be loser out. You can see on your screen, for those of you that have joined us on KNOX Live Sports, those green spots after 2 rounds. That means you're going. Green means go. That means you're going to the state tournament. So 2 straight wins, you're in, and you play for the championship on Saturday. That would be Saturday a week from today. But you'll see some cross-bracketing that goes on. The losers of the semifinals will drop into those empty spots surrounded in black on your screen that are to the right of your screen, and they're going to play somebody that comes from the further left empty black spots that win on Saturday, or rather on Friday. And Saturday we'll see those cross-bracket games for a winner moving on to the state tournament as well. 4 spots in the state tournament that are ready to go for this year out of the East region, and there's of course a champion. They're seeded based on your finish and your pre-tournament seed if you don't have a chance to play for that 3rd place spot. But really the winner here goes up against Grand Forks Central. Grand Forks Red River gets the winner of a play-in matchup in that first round. Cheyenne and Shanley should be a fantastic matchup, and Fargo North has the opportunity to give a good game to Fargo Davies as well. Really, both of those games that will be played in Fargo, I think, have the possibility of being very good hockey games. We saw Shanley and Grand Forks at the end of the season, and they played very competitively against Grand Forks Red River, made the Rough Riders work for it. I think that was 1-0 after 2 periods of play. And as far as the Davies North matchup, I mean, that's going to be a really good one. A couple of teams that have state tournament aspirations on the regular. North was in the running to be a top 5 team until the very end of the season, and Davies was that team that might have been overlooked as far as a potential leader in the league because of Central and Red River having such good lineups. But Fargo Davies has a strong nucleus of players, and so I think what you're going to see in Fargo on Tuesday will be good hockey. Right now, KNOX Live Sports is scheduled to bring you Davies and North from Farmers Union Insurance Rink on Tuesday evening, along with the Central matchup and the Red River matchup. We'd have 3 of the first 4 games from the first round to bring to you coming up on Saturday, or I should say rather on Tuesday. And that's a look at Drive for the Title that we have for you here today. As you can see, they're resurfacing the ice. We're getting ready. When we come back, we'll take you through some of the players to watch in this one. So do stay with us as we continue with high school hockey this afternoon in the Eastern Dakota Conference play-in round. Grafton Park River hosting West Fargo on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens. At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto at Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports. Today we are at Centennial Center in Grafton, North Dakota, as Grafton Park River, the Spoilers, they get set to take on the West Fargo Packers in the 8-9 matchup of the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament. Our coverage continues. Brought to you by Rivards Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks. You can find them online at rivards.com, and Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks. Our pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment. Let's take a look at the tools for the game and find out which players you should keep your eyes on today as this one plays out. And our tools for the game are brought to you today by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Logan Karski, brand new to Grand Forks, brand new to State Farm Insurance as of this year. And it's been great to have him along with us to bring you the game tools throughout the season. Whether it's home, auto, farm, life, health, business, they have you covered at State Farm Insurance. And of course, they come in second to none when it comes down to home insurance. Your home needs to be insured with State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. For Grafton and Grafton Park River, we should say, Noah Troff-Gruben is a name that you've heard for a couple of years for the Spoilers. And he comes in as the leading scorer this season for Grafton with 25 points and 17 goals on the season. David Jelinek with 16 points. Marcus Moe also with 16 points this season to try to lead things along for Grafton Park River. It's a team that hasn't had a ton of offense, and West Fargo hasn't had a ton of offense either. Ian Scarry has been their highlight player so far this year. We saw him earlier this season in Grand Forks in an early season game, and despite the fact that Grand Forks Central had a better night that night, Ian Scarry did impress us quite a bit in what he was able to do individually. 21 points on the year for Scarry with 13 goals. Brody Medina, 19 points on the season, 8 goals on the year, and Riley Clevin, 5 goals and 8 assists for 13 points this season as well for the West Fargo Packers. So again, those are the players to watch coming into this one today. We're not sure yet who Grafton Park River will start between the pipes today. Case and Twomley, Ben Schatz were both there, and it looked like Schatz was getting a majority of the warm-up situation, despite the fact that Case and Twomley was listed a little higher on the depth chart and might end up being the targeted starter that we have in this one. So Grafton Park River may be between players that they're going to play between the pipes here today, which will be an interesting conversation to have when they decide to go someplace with that. Liam Swenson's going to get the start for West Fargo today, and when you start taking a look at the lineup and what's out there, Torin Beneda is a player for Grafton Park River on the second line that could step up and do some things athletically. David Jelinek, who's on your screen for those of you on the video side, is a scorer from the blue line, and that's something that West Fargo doesn't have in their top scorers out there. Their top offense is all up front, whereas Grafton does get some pretty good offense from the blue line and their decor as well. But for West Fargo, you know, players like Brody Medina, Ashton Wigestrand, Ryan Camarillo, I mean, these are players that have had their moments throughout the year, and you kind of feel like this Packer team, if they found a way to put all the elements together at one time, they could put a real scare into somebody. They did have Grand Forks Central, at least in a tough spot early in their game at West Fargo about a week or a week and a half ago. And you feel the same way for Grafton Park River as well, with Drew Suda back on that second line, Torin Beneda as well. There might be just a little bit more balance over on the Grafton Park River side, and that might be one of the reasons why they ended up getting the nod in the regular season after picking up a few more wins in the league than West Fargo did. Those are your tools to watch. Your game tools tonight are brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. We'll take a break in our pregame report. Keys the game coming up. Starting lineups on the way. Getting ready to throw the puck down in this one as Grafton Park River and West Fargo come back onto the ice for the start of today's matchup. It's the Spoilers and the Packers in an East Region play-in matchup today on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports. We're back with more next.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel, make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports from Centennial Center in Grafton today, where the Grafton Park River plays host to West Fargo. In the start of the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament, we should have a great day today for this one. We're getting ready to pause for our national anthem. We'll bring you our national anthem here today at the Centennial Center in Grafton, and then we'll bring you to our starting lineups and get ready to throw the puck down on this one as our pregame report continues. And ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem coming up as we turn things over to the scorers table for today's matchup. And we'll bring you the national anthem and then get ready to go with the starting lineups for today's matchup as well. So do stay with us. We're getting some final announcements here from the scorers table. And we'll have a presentation by a couple of singers today. The national anthem taking place here today. A couple of singers taking the girls' duet out for the national anthem today, and a great rendition of it today as well, as we bring you our coverage of the Eastern Dakota Conference play-in matchup in high school hockey. On the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports, let's introduce you to our starting lineups that we have for today's matchup. First of all, for West Fargo and the Packers, the starting goaltender today is Liam Swenson. Starting defensive pair, Jack Josephson on the left point, Cruz Mahar on the right. Ian Scarry will bring out the first line with Rowan Schneck on his left wing and Brody Medina on his right wing. The head coach of West Fargo is Parker Metz. For Grafton Park River today, the starting goaltender will be Ben Schatz, the sophomore. Starting defensive pair, David Jelinek on the left point and Soren Olsen on the right point. And the starting first line, Noah Troffgruben will bring him out with Jonathan Presting on his left wing and Marcus Moe on his right wing. Joey Demers is the head coach of the Grafton Park River Spoilers, and both of these young head coaches are fantastic people. Had a chance to talk with both Joey and Parker before the matchup, and obviously we run into Joey at a few different times when we're covering some baseball in the region as well, and really fun to hook up with these two coaches when you're out trying to get the lay of the land as it regards to high school hockey, and we're glad to have be a part of this and have these two guys that are really, really nice guys have a chance to talk with them and bring you what is kind of a neutral site game for us here on KNOX, obviously, with Grafton Park River and West Fargo, but definitely glad to bring you the video coverage of it here today as well. Noah Troffgruben will take the opening draw for Grafton Park River. Keys the game coming up in a couple of moments. Ian Scarry will take the draw for West Fargo. Here we go. It's Grafton Park River and West Fargo for survival in the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament, and a puck ends out of play on the opening draw, just 5 seconds into the matchup. So we'll come back and I guess we'll do it again. Our coverage of high school hockey brought to you today by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks and Devils Lake. PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service. Puck waved at on the right side as a play from Soren Olsen comes up and dumps one into the West Fargo zone. This will circle to Medina on the right wing for West Fargo back in his own end. For those of you on the radio side, West Fargo in their black business suits today with the green shoulders, and we'll see the spoilers come out in gold with maroon accents today. Puck in the West Fargo zone, comes back to center for Rowan Schneck. He tries to put a stick on it, had it picked from behind, but the Packers will come up into the offensive end with Medina. Medina will dump down towards the far side, chases his own puck and got back behind the net with it to Ian Scarry. Scarry will be checked. David Jelinek in the corner will push this back towards the Grafton Park River end wall and plays one dangerously up his own slot, but found Noah Troffgruben. We'll see a puck played up the ice, too strong for icing, and this is going to come back into the Grafton Park River zone for a draw 51 seconds in to the opening period. Keys the game today are brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. We'll come back to this, but you can see for both of these teams, you got to be in this for the long haul. The second period has gotten away from Grafton Park River. They've been outscored 42-14 in the second period this season, and it's been 89-36 that West Fargo has been outscored throughout the course of the year after the first period. Right now, West Fargo playing one out into their own zone. Actually, the slot of Grafton Park River, Colton Lair was there. Couldn't quite come up with a touch cleanly. It ends up with Ashton Wigestrand on the right side wall. Tipped off of his stick, back to the high slot. Another wrist shot kicked away by Ben Schatz, coming in from Lair as he got back to it on the high slot again. This will be chased by Camarillo down to the corner. Camarillo being chased from behind by Thomas Ossend for Grafton Park River. This come back loose in the corner. Torrin Beneda waving at it. But again, puck right side for Ashton Wigestrand. Ends up being gloved up by Schatz. Go back to our keys the game. For Grafton Park River, penalties as well. West Fargo, for the things that have troubled them, have not been troubled on the power play. 32% success rate on the power play for West Fargo. And for the Packers, the penalty kill, they've got to take a step in the right direction. They're good with a man advantage, but 74.5% of the penalty kill is not the number on the PK that you want to take into the first round of the state tournament or the first round of the regional tournament or really anywhere. They've got to take a step if they're shorthanded today. So penalties could be a factor really for both teams. Special teams are places where there may be some strengths and some weaknesses for both of these squads throughout the course of the afternoon. Keys the Game brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Ian Scarry with the puck for West Fargo. Turned it back behind his own net, actually behind the Grafton net. Jelinek comes out with it, has it poke checked off his stick. Medina to the left wall, a stop on the point. And then we'll see Jelinek stepping back in to reclaim control for the Spoilers. Jelinek plays it behind his own net, steps over towards the left corner. Pitchfork back into the neutral zone. It's in the air. Medina will make a catch. Steps back towards his own line and then plays one rink wide towards the right. Step up momentarily for Rylan Spanier, who comes out as a third paired defender for West Fargo. He sent it back to the Grafton Park River line. A step over here for Jonathan Presting. Presting tried to play it back up, but David Jelinek has to go back into the Grafton Park River zone and pick up another loose puck. He's been busy back there. Soren Olsen plays it back to center. Troff-Gruben gets taken out by a pair of defenders. Loose puck to Riley Clevin. He's got a 2-on-2. Clevin with a drive. Shots tries to cover it up. It's jabbed loose on a poke back in from Tristan Wynn and ends up going wide to the corner. And the Spoilers are able to get it back out into the neutral zone. A backdoor play once again to Clevin on the left wall. Clevin has his team offside, dumped it back in. West Fargo has to get out. They do. Loose puck is grabbed up by Carson Thomas for Grafton Park River, one of their second pair defenders. And now back to Thomas Austin, who plays it back. And a big hit from behind. This could be a huge penalty as Brody Lawaji ends up drilling Carson Thomas into the wall from behind head first. And we're going to see a penalty, and we'll see if they discuss it or not, if this is going to be a 2 or a 5. It was behind, it was into a wall, and it was head first into a wall, and West Fargo will be fortunate if they don't get into a situation here where they're not shorthanded for 5 minutes. The hit came from Brody Lawaji, and again, it went head first into the wall on the target for Grafton Park River, Carson Thomas. And Thomas was hit right between the 1 and the 2 on the back of his sweater, and the head went into the wall head first. And so the officials will get together to discuss it. A couple of captains are over there to listen to the conversation, one for each team. And we'll see what comes of this, but they're talking it over, and they'll go over and talk it over with Parker Metz, the head coach for West Fargo as well, and it's going to be a major penalty. All you can eat for Grafton Park River, 5 minutes on the power play for the Spoilers. And a penalty kill for West Fargo that we had mentioned is not the strongest coming into the day, so this is a key moment early. Lawaji goes in for a major penalty, and Grafton Park River can strike first blood on the power play and has some time to try to do it. Jonathan Presting back behind his own net. West Fargo will get a clearing play. It comes out as far as the line. Wait for the announcement of the penalty that comes in here. Cruz Mahar was trying to clear it. Lawaji does take the penalty. It is checking from behind. So the penalty will be checking from behind on Lawaji, and it's a major penalty. It comes at 3:15 to the opening period, and Grafton Park River's on the power play, brought to you by RBB Electric. Grafton Park River trying to score and score often in these 5 minutes, now down to 4 minutes and 20 seconds that they'll have with the man advantage. Puck the high slot for Troff-Gruben, turns it back to the right for Thomas Austin, who steps inside the line, looks down to the right corner, finding David Jelinek. Jelinek pacing out his opportunity, turned it back behind the net, had Marcus Moe momentarily. This works back towards the right, and a good play by Thomas Austin to pinch and keep that in the zone, and a shot from the right side that'll be gloved up by Liam Swenson. We'll see a draw coming up in the West Fargo zone. Power play brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online at rbbelectric.com. And it's a big one. 4 minutes, 3 seconds remaining of the man advantage for Grafton Park River. We draw in the West Fargo zone. West Fargo comes up with control of the draw. Camarillo will dump this back up into the Grafton Park River end. He gets a clearing moment for the Packers that they could definitely use. Thomas Austin back behind his net for the Spoilers. Austin comes out center ice, working back over towards the right wing, being chased the entire time by Ashton Wigestram. He'll drop one off to Troff-Gruben, who gets another shift on the power play here for the Spoilers. Loose puck goes to the right, picked up on the right by Camarillo. He dashes up into the offensive end, then circles it back to the neutral zone, trying to play a little keep away and kill some time. And a clearing wrister from Rylan Spanier into the far corner will put Grafton Park River back into their own zone to retrieve the puck. Puck back to center ice. It'll be brought up on the right by Thomas Austin. Austin to drop off to Troff-Gruben. He'll look right side to Moe on the point. Moe will turn it back behind the West Fargo net. Troff-Gruben trying to get to it. Some help from Presting as well. And a centering play that'll be cleared out by Ashton Wigestran. Nice play for Wigestran. And Grafton Park River has to go back into their own zone and break out again. 2 minutes off the 5-minute major penalty called against Lawaji. A play up the ice from Grafton from Trace Anderson, or rather Grafton Park River, and another clearing play. Good turn and fire by Brody Medina. That will send it back into the Grafton Park River zone again. 11:30 to play in the opening period. 2:45 left on the RBB Electric power play for Grafton Park River. No score as of yet on the All True scoreboard. Backhander goes into the right corner. Long chase to get back to it for West Fargo. Cruz Mahar looking to chase it down. Back to the high slot. Anderson into traffic. That will flutter wide and end up on the high glass in the left corner. Back to Mahar behind the net for the Packers. He'll turn it off towards the right side. And a look back up the ice for West Fargo. Another clearing play, and out in front, Ian Scarry got hit with a great breakout play that was started by Jack Josephson for West Fargo. And Scarry ends up missing on a spot. Puck back to Scarry on the left wing. He's got help up the ice as well. He makes his own centering play and ends up in front of Brody Medina. And now Grafton Park River trying to rush while they change their power play unit. A drive into the right circle. Short-sided shot from a steep angle that was put on. It was put on by Carson Thomas. It's deflected loose back into the neutral zone. Grafton back up with Jelinek, and a turn from the right side by Marcus Moe that sends it wide to the far corner. Now the Packers get 2-1 and drill one back up the ice on a clearing play for Cruz Mahar. And down to 1:40 left to go of the power play. Again, a major penalty called against Brody Lawaji for checking from behind at 3:15 of the period. And Grafton Park River's been stymied for 3.5 minutes on the man advantage. Jonathan Presting on the left point for the Spoilers. Turns, got tied up with Ashton Wiggestrand of West Fargo. Wiggestrand trying to turn for it. Pulled away once again by Presting. He charges into the left corner and tries to turn it back out on the right wall. Thomas Austin pinches in deep. Puck gets battled for. Troffgruben steps in from behind. This will work back out into the neutral zone. And the Spoilers with David Jelinek back to the line to pick it up. Back to Troffgruben, stepping wide of some pressure coming up defensively from Ryan Camarillo. Troffgruben into the left corner. Got back towards the right. Turns it back out to the right point for David Jelinek. Under a minute now left in the power play for Grafton Park River. Another pickoff on a block shot by West Fargo in the house. Rylan Spanier turned it back into the neutral zone. Spoilers will turn it back down, and a whiff on a clearing play that came in from West Fargo's Quinn Bosch on the penalty kill. 40 seconds left of the power play. Out in front, Soren Olsen. Troffgruben up and over the bar, and we'll see a draw coming up in the West Fargo zone. Our draws are brought to you today in part by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. And brought to you as well by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. We draw to the right of goaltender Liam Swenson. Puck goes loose to the wall off the draw. Carson Thomas plays it back in. Ring around the West Fargo net. Comes out towards the right wall. Torin Beneda getting a step. Stepping back to his backhand side. Off to the high slot for Soren Olsen. Near side, a shot from the top of the circle. That one was taken on the right by Drew Suda. It gets blocked, and another shot is blocked, this time coming from Trace Anderson. In that case, it was Brody Medina that got a body on it. 10 seconds left of the power play for Grafton Park River. West Fargo looking to clear an early hurdle. Trace Anderson, a look off towards the right circle, played by Suda, down in front, and another cover by Liam Swenson, and that just ends the 5-minute major penalty on Brody Lawaji. So West Fargo takes a major penalty. Grafton Park River goes to work on the power play for 5 minutes, and we're unable to come up with a goal. Scoring update from Devils Lake in the second play-in opportunity today. After a period, Devils Lake leads Mayport area by a score of 2-0. Shots are 13-7 Devils Lake on the All True scoreboard. And that provided today by Bob Gillen from highschoolhockeynd.com, keeping us up to date with what's happening in the other play-in. A play down the ice for West Fargo. Icing is the call, and we'll head back into the West Fargo zone for a draw with 8:28 to play in the opening period. And again, our thanks to Bob Gillen from Indy High School, or rather from highschoolhockeynd.com. The revamped website has been just fantastic the last couple of years, being able to keep up with the live scoring on full Eastern Dakota Conference nights. That's been lights out good. I mean, that has been really, really good to be able to keep up with that and see how the other teams are doing in real time throughout the course of the year. A draw ends up back in the Grafton Park River zone, and this may have been well to have been played by Ben Schatz. He decided to stay in the crease, and a charge at by Rowan Schneck was able to get a backhander away. Ends up over the bar, and Schneck will chase a loose puck back into the neutral zone. Here, no score between Grafton, Park River, and West Fargo. On our all-true scoreboard, Troff-Gruben takes a hit, but spins through it for Grafton, Park River, then turn it over to the neutral zone. Cruz Maher with the takeaway. He'll step right, driving in, firing it right into the glove of Ben Schatz, who will hold on for the whistle for the Spoilers. 7:58 left to go of the opening period. Again, the winner here moves on to take on Grand Forks Central on Tuesday night. That game has been moved to 6 o'clock, and it will take place at Purpur Arena. The entire tournament moves to Purpur on Saturday, or rather on Friday, and continues on Saturday. We draw to the left of Ben Schatz, and the draw is won by West Fargo. Camarillo outduels Suda. But Grafton Park River comes away with possession of the puck. Right side, Thomas Austin trying to play off towards the wing for Torin Beneda. Beneda got turned around. Ashton Wiggestrand's back after for West Fargo. Plays it out in the neutral zone. Camarillo looking up the ice. A stop on the right. Colton Lair trying to drive back to the high slot on his forehand. Drove one wide and back into the corner, but Lair continues to chase the puck. Works back to Wiggestrand. He'll retrieve. Puts a shot in long distance on shots. He'll punch it away with the stick hand. Puck loose back behind the Grafton Park River net, and Augie Miller will come over to pick it up on the right wall. Wiggestrand will poke it back in. Long chase for Carson Thomas for the Spoilers. He plays one gingerly up the right wall, picked up there by Torin Beneda. Beneda down numbers as he drives in, flutters one wide of Liam Swenson, the freshman goalie for West Fargo. Play back out into the neutral zone. A touch up for West Fargo by Halo Buchholz. Fourth liner getting some ice time early here for the Packers. Play into the neutral zone, broken up. Loose puck to Landon Korick for Grafton Park River. He'll play it in, and then the Spoilers attempt to clear the final pieces of their line change. Trace Anderson looking to chase down a puck behind the West Fargo net. Works back into the neutral zone, and Soren Olsen from the red line, dumps as far as the near circle. Packers away with it. Cruz Maher looking back into the neutral zone, able to find Tristan Wynn. Wynn will step up into the offensive end, plays one down the far corner. David Jelinek, who was busy early for for Grafton, drove it back out. And a shot by Maher from the point is gloved up by Ben Schatz for a whistle with 6:29 left to go in the first. Again, our coverage today brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks and Devils Lake. The PS standing for Puck Stopper. If your garage door has become too much of a puck stopper, you know exactly what it looks like, and that means you need PS Garage Doors when it's time for garage door replacement. Call 772-DOOR. Puck ends up back up in the neutral zone. Jack Josephson backing up on the puck for West Fargo. Comes back towards the left point, was able to find Halo Buchholz. Buchholz puts it back behind the net. Riley Clevin trying to chase it down. Instead, puck over left corner for Marcus Moe. Grafton Park River trying to dash up the ice with it. It was chased by Moe from behind. He'll get it back right in front of the West Fargo line. 2-on-2 up the ice. Drive coming in. And once again, the stop by Liam Swenson. Freshman 5'10", 140. And on the line chart for West Fargo, they list him as coming from Berger Elementary School. They kind of filter in, and I like the way they do things on both line charts because Grafton has the active co-op with Park River, and so both hometowns are reflected in the way that the players are listed. You can tell which hometowns are the hometowns for every player. And for the Packers, they show you the educational journey for their athletes all the way through from the elementary school level up. Jelinek back behind the net for the Spoilers, trying to quarterback a breakout for Grafton Park River. 5:40 to play, opening frame. Scoreless. Shots are 7-5 in favor of West Fargo, despite the 5-minute major penalty that West Fargo took and the power play that ensued for the Packers. West Fargo's blocked a lot, for the Spoilers. West Fargo has blocked a lot of shots today. Thomas Austin drifting one into the corner, picked up there by Medina. He got turned around. Puck will come back over towards the near side. A dig for it for Rowan Schneck. Shot comes wide from the right point that time for Grafton's Jonathan Presting. Put it on net, but a bit wide of it. And this will be bladed back up the ice by Brody Medina in the air. Flops in front of Rowan Schneck. He had a man with Ian Scarry in front of him momentarily. Scarry ends up losing the puck into the corner. Looks to dodge a hit. Stays with it. Scarry comes back towards the point. Played a back high slot. It was picked off. Loose puck taken by Torin Beneda. He's up ice with Troff-Gruben, who dodges a man. Fires, and off the chest. Swenson makes a big stop. We're going to see a whistle here as well. I don't know if the goal light came on or what the whistle was for, but we're going to see a whistle. I don't know if that touched webbing. Or were they offside? I bet that was going to be the case. I think we didn't get a whistle on it, or we didn't hear it. But Grafton Park River came into the offensive end offside, so we're going to bring it back out onto the West Fargo line and draw. That was a good scoring opportunity for Grafton Park River. Didn't score. Credit Swenson for making another save. Soren Olsen for the Spoilers up into the neutral zone. Drew Suda has one deflected off his stick. Augie Miller looking to get back to it. Comes back right for Torrin Beneda, and he'll fly one back through the offensive end. It'll be poked back over to the far side off a backhand. Wiggestrand waiting for it. Back up in the air again. And, well, we'll see a catch of a puck by Cruz Maher. He made a lateral pass back behind him. It was taken by Jack Josephson. Doesn't qualify as a hand pass. Will play on. Wiggestrand back into the neutral zone. Steps up, just barely able to stay onside. Puck will go loose into the corner. Battle for Camarillo to get to it. He played it out in front. A jab by Josephson comes up empty. And this will once again fly up in the air. And once more, Maher goes up and makes the play with a gloved hand. Puck will go loose back into the spoiler end. Back to get to it, David Jelinek for Grafton Park River. And again, he retreats behind his net to try to engineer the breakout. Comes back to the right for Soren Olsen. Backhands off his stick a bit loose and will be shoved back in by Halo Buchholz for West Fargo. A good charge by Colton Lair to try to get there for an opportunity as the Packers finished a line change. Puck right side for Trace Anderson in Grafton Park River. Anderson puts a head in, then put a fist in as well. Got up and underneath the grill of Ryland Spanier, who came over to try to check him. Spanier will poke it out towards the right side. Easton Thornton, correction, not Thornton, Tristan Wynn coming up with a turn into the offensive end. And a charge to get there for Riley Clevin. Clevin's back behind the net, tied up with pressure with Thomas Oppen. Clevin got it out in front, and a drive goes wide from the high slot that time from Buchholz, and a turn and score from behind the net for West Fargo on the rebound, and the Packers will take the opening lead. We'll see who gets it. It'll be at 13:45. There were a ton of sticks that were in the vicinity and a couple of bodies to bang them off as well. But it looks like Tristan Wynn is going to get the goal, and West Fargo will take a 1-0 edge. Let's look at it again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. There was the drive that went wide. Wynn was camped, little backhander towards the net, and he scored. Looked like it went 5-hole on Ben shots for West Fargo. So Tristan Wynn gets the goal, and West Fargo will take a 1-0 lead. The time of the goal will be at 13:45 of the opening frame. And West Fargo grabs a 1-0 advantage in this play-in do-or-die matchup with Grafton Park River. For the Packers to survive the opening stanza of the game, giving up a 5-minute power play to Grafton Park River and lead late in the first, big opportunity for them. There will be an assist for Riley Clement on the play. And I believe Buchholz also picked up an assist on that as well from that shot from the high slot. So win from Clement and Buchholz at 13:45 of the first period makes it 1-0. And the Packers back out in front again. Scarry with a chance just near the top of the crease. He ends up having it knocked loose. Tropgruben comes back for Grafton Park River. He's in the right circle, looking fire, and Liam Swenson makes the save chest high, and the rebound will pop right down to his glove, and he'll hold on for a whistle. 2:28 left of the period. It hasn't been a huge period of production so far. Shots 8 for West Fargo, 7 for Grafton Park River, but the number that stands out with the shots on goal advantage is 7 for Grafton Park River despite a 5-minute power play. West Fargo really bought into blocking shots during that man advantage, and Liam Swenson makes another stop. Glove high, that one might have been a bit outside the net, but he goes out to get it anyway. And third line production for West Fargo's Tristan Wynn ends up being the difference maker so far here in the opening frame. Still a couple of minutes to go in this first period of matchup. Wiggestrand looks back into the back corner on the right. Jack Josephson looking to come up with a puck. Threads a pass through, trying to find a dash from Colton Lair. He gets turned aside. Back defensively, Soren Olsen for Grafton Park River. And Olsen comes out to the right, finding Augie Miller. Miller a drive. That was blocked again. Another blocked shot coming in the form of Josephson. Puck will come back towards the left point. Picked up on the left by Jelinek. Jelinek turns it back in. A tip in front of the net, looking for a redirect from Augie Miller. Now picked up behind the West Fargo net. And we saw a turn that time from Torrin Beneda, but he didn't get the puck out in front. West Fargo put a body on him and turned him aside. Loose puck to Colton Lair. He'll drive one in and punched in the air by Ben Schatz. And we'll see a draw coming up in the Grafton Park River zone. With 1:42 left of the opening frame, we'll draw on the Grafton Park River end. 1-0 on the All True scoreboard in favor of the West Fargo Packers. And Tristan Wynn, who scored the goal, will take the draw for the Packers against Noah Trofgruben. Wynn wins it, but shoveled it back into the neutral zone. West Fargo will have to get onside. Bosch drives one through the near circle. It goes back into the Grafton Park River end. They can't get it out. It'll be picked up by Riley Clement on the right wing, and this is the unit that scored the goal earlier. Halo Buchholz stepping off towards the left corner. Comes back out towards the point, found Bosch. Bosch with a wrister that gets knocked down. Loose puck scooped up near side, and a drive coming in wide that time. And that drive was taken by Ryland Spanier, who's out defensively as well. The Packers have used their depth effectively. Trofgruben trying to make a pass for Moe as the Packers, rather the Spoilers, came up ice. Trofgruben got turned around, plays it back out towards the point. This will be chipped loose. Thomas Austin trying to go back to get to it. Loose, and the Packers were just able to avoid a opportunity to get up ice. They had an opportunity in front of them, and it was knocked away by Grafton Park River. Last moment, good play by Soren Olsen coming back in defensively. Now another puck knocked loose by Jonathan Presting, and West Fargo's gaining some confidence. They're really coming up with a pretty solid forecheck. Presting stepping up into the offensive end. Lost the puck back in the West Fargo zone. Taken by Jack Josephson, who will turn away from pressure. And here comes the Packer opportunity. Josephson driving all the way through the near circle. Looks to backhand one back to the point. Nobody home. It's picked off by Drew Suda. Suda comes up the ice with Torin Beneda. Suda, right circle, drives one that's deflected. Another block. Beneda will come back to get to it for Grafton Park River. His shot from the high slot deflected up into the webbing. Intermission report coming up. And our intermission report will be brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine and High Plains Water. We'll take you a look through the highlights of this one. So far, one scoring play, an interesting one for the Packers playing around the Spoilers net. We draw to the right of Liam Swenson for West Fargo, draws one, comes back towards the right. A shot from the point from Soren Olsen that gets blocked. 10 seconds left. Spoilers trying to keep the puck offensive end, but it's lost into an odd man rush for West Fargo. Down to 3 seconds. Shot from the right side. Loose puck on a rebound was there and poked wide by Rowan Schneck. After the drive came up by Brody Medina on the right wall, Schneck had a chance with a wide open net, couldn't catch up to the puck. And West Fargo ends the period with a strong pair of rushes and really a good closing streak over the last 5 minutes of that first period to take a 1-0 lead into the intermission. We make our way to the first intermission, and after a period of play here in Grafton, your score is West Fargo 1 and Grafton Park River 0. This is our coverage of high school hockey. Our intermission report is next on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports. We'll come back with our intermission report next.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports from Centennial Center in Grafton, North Dakota today, where we've made it to the end of a period of play. And the West Fargo Packers, the number 9 seed coming into the East Region Tournament, have a 1-0 lead over Grafton Park River, and the Spoilers, the 8th seed coming into the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament. Our intermission report is on the way with a look at our scoring play and our highlights for this intermission report, and we'll also take a look at the scoring summary that we have for you and catch you up with what's happening elsewhere in hockey, to include maybe setting the table for the WDA tournament that will get started this week as well. But first, for those of you on the radio side, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
News Radio 1310 KNOX AM Grand Forks, 107.9 and 103.3 KNOX FM, translated on K239BG in Grand Forks and K277DN in Grand Forks.
Ryan Cunningham with you today from Centennial Center. Luca Carpenter has our videography work today. This period did not look like it was going to go in this direction for the West Fargo Packers early. Brody Lawaji takes a hit from, or actually takes a checking from behind penalty. And I don't know that we saw Brody Lawaji back on the ice for the remainder of that period. Hit from Brody Lawaji that went in on number 12 Carson Thomas of Grafton Park River. And it was one of those where Lawaji might be lucky to still be in the hockey game. And I'm not saying that he should be or should not be. I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way, but it was one of those where the hit was to the back. The hit was head first into the wall. I don't know if Lawaji meant to do it. I think he saw a target that was there, and the right play was to make a hit, just not in that way. But Brody Lawaji takes a 5-minute major for checking from behind at 3:15 of the first period. And in the end, West Fargo with a penalty kill where they struggle a little bit. You know, we go back to our keys, the game that were brought to you tonight by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World, and you see for West Fargo the penalty kill only 74.5% this season. So it was one of those where their penalty kill could use some work, and now you're down a man for 5 minutes against Grafton Park River. But the Spoilers had very little good offensive opportunities in that 5-minute major penalty. A lot of block shots from West Fargo paid off, and in the long run, West Fargo was able to come back and take a 1-0 lead at the end of the frame on some third-line production led by Halo Buchholz and turned into a goal by Tristan Wynn. And so 1-0 in favor of West Fargo at the end of a frame as we take a look at our highlights that we have for you from the first half of play, or first period of play rather. And our highlights are brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent. This gets started harmlessly enough. A drive from Buchholz wide of the net, but a great play off the end wall by Clevin, and Wynn was there for West Fargo to play that in. And that's a really good example of just staying with it when it comes down to following a puck in hockey. And a great play set up by Halo Buchholz, who's listed as a fourth-line winger, and stepped into that spot that Brody Lawaji was in when Brody Lawaji took that checking from behind penalty. So Buchholz elevates to the third line and helps lead the scoring play for West Fargo as he puts it in behind the net. Clevin picks it up and wraps it back to Wynn in the left pipe for a score. And Grafton Park River finds themselves down a goal, West Fargo up a goal. 1-0 at the end of a frame of hockey here at Centennial Center in Grafton. And that was the lone scoring play that we had in the opening period of hockey. As far as our scoring summary is concerned, with Who Lit the Lamp, it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. And the lone goal is scored with Tristan Wynn coming up with that goal. Wynn will score the first goal of the game. He'll be assisted by Riley Clevin and Halo Buchholz, and the goal comes at 13:45 of the opening period of play, and that's the lone goal that we have. It's third-line production, and a fourth-liner got an assist for West Fargo. So when it comes down to a battle of depth, right now the Spoilers seem to have a bit of an advantage in that one, and the lone goal to Tristan Wynn. And Tristan Wynn is who lights the lamp. And Who Lit the Lamp is brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. That's our intermission summary that we have for you. after the first 17 minutes of play. We'll take a break in our intermission report. When we come back, we'll give you an update on what we have from the other East Region play-in games supplied by Bob Gillen from highschoolhockeynd.com, who's keeping track of Devils Lake and Mayport area for us today. And we'll also tip the cap to the West Region and find out how their tournament is set to get started on Thursday. So stay with us for that. After a period of play, it's West Fargo 1, Grafton Park River nothing. This is our coverage of the Eastern Dakota Conference hockey play-in round on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to GrandForksWelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Today we are at Centennial Center in Grafton, North Dakota, where Grafton Park River is trailing West Fargo after a period of play by a score of 1-0, with the winner moving on to take on Grand Forks Central on Tuesday night in Grand Forks in the opening round of the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament. Again, for those of you that are looking for what the bracket looks like, our intermission report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. The bracket for the Eastern Dakota Conference, Grand Forks Central awaiting the winner of this matchup today. That game will be at 6 o'clock at Burper. West Fargo Cheyenne will host Fargo Shanley, I should say. Cheyenne will host Shanley at the West Fargo Sports Center coming up on Tuesday night. I believe that game is at 7 o'clock. At 6 o'clock at Blue Line Iceplex in Grand Forks, formerly Eagles Arena, Red River will get the winner of Devils Lake and Mayport area. And also at Farmers Union Insurance Rink on Tuesday night, Fargo Davies will take on Fargo North, and that is the way that we'll get things going from the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament on Tuesday. Again, we plan for video coverage of Central and the winner here, Red River and the winner between Devils Lake, Mayport area, and Davies and North coming up on Tuesday night. So we invite you to join us for that coming up. Our All True scoreboard update is brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Devils Lake out shooting Mayport area 24-14 late second period. Firebirds with a pair of goals in the first. have the lead 2-0 over Mayport area. Cole Thompson and Carson Hogness coming up with goals. Devils Lake had to play some of their season without some of their mainstays, but they have their lineup put back together now, and they're hoping to make a tournament run with that full lineup in place. And Thompson and Hogness with goals to make it 2-0 in favor of Devils Lake. That game was in the late second period. As far as out west, Minot United, despite the fact that Minot had some problems with lost players due to the juniors, they've come on with a very strong season, and Minot United looks to be the #1 team going into the West Region tournament out there. And as far as what we have coming up after that, well, we'll have a couple of play-in games coming up. And I apologize to Bob Gillen, who I know is tuning in. He sent me an image of what that play-in looks like, but I can't find him on the website, and I also can't see the image that was sent to me. But I'm going to assume that there are 10 teams out there, so the play-ins will be Bottineau Rugby hosting Hazen Beulah, Dickinson hosting Williston. I'm not sure when those games are. We'll get confirmation on that. Minot United is the #1 seed going into the tournament. Legacy 2. Jamestown, with a strong finish to their season, is the 3 seed. Mandan the 4. Bismarck Century the 5. Bismarck High the 6. Before you get to Bottineau Rugby and Hazen Beulah the 7-10. Dickinson Williston the 8-9. And that's the way we will get ready to go into that particular tournament. But that West Region tournament Thursday, Friday, and Saturday should be a really good West Region tournament as well. All right, a final break in our intermission report. And when we come back, we'll get ready for second period hockey. It's 1-0 West Fargo. Our intermission report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water, and Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Second period action is next.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Blue Rich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our #1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
Well, they took time off the clock. We join you about 15 seconds late here into this second period of play. And one note to the folks that are viewing in from HSAA, that's something we don't want to do in the postseason is take time off the clock. We're all using it so that we know when to get back on the air. Noah Troftgruben with a shot for Grafton Park River, with West Fargo leading by a score of 1-0 over Grafton Park River to start period number 2 of play here from Grafton Centennial Center in the 8-9 matchup of the East Region Tournament. With the winner moving on to a game with Grand Forks Central coming up on Tuesday night. We will clear up the West Region play-in scenarios, by the way. We were able to navigate our way to that. A goal back in the opening period for West Fargo's Tristan Wynn on a reformed third line for the Packers has put them up by a score of 1-0 after a period of play, and we'll see if Grafton Park River responds here with some desperation in the second, knowing that the season's on the line. We have an offside call coming up against the Spoilers that will slow things down for us. Minute 5 seconds into the game. Play-in games are Monday night. Bottineau will host the matchup between Hazen Beulah and Bottineau Rugby. That'll be a 6:30 start time in Bottineau on Monday night in the West Region. These are West Region play-in games. And also the West Region, Williston goes to Dickinson. That will be in Dickinson at 7 o'clock Mountain Time coming up on Monday night as well. And then they will move on to their tournament Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Shot from the point that comes in from Grand Forks, or rather Grafton Park River's Torrin Beneda gets knocked away. Good start for Liam Swenson today as the goaltender for West Fargo. He's had some tests. He's been able to stand up to them so far. And the Packers back into the offensive zone. Camarillo to the high slot, looking back towards the left, finding his way to Ryland Spanier. Another shot got blocked, but this time got blocked by Wiggestrand. And Wiggestrand took that one in a tough area. He's trying to get himself off the ice, but it stays up. Spanier, a backhander, and a big stop by Ben Schatz. He'll hold on for the whistle. West Fargo with some good pressure again. They really ended the first period with a lot of confidence, did West Fargo. I mean, the Packers really showed you that they felt like they had some control of the way that first period came to an end and tilted the ice. Grafton Park River's going to have to find a way to tilt it back in their favor, or time could run out on them despite just a one-goal game. Here, Wiggestrand, a mishandle for West Fargo. A draw was won. He pushed it back into the Grafton zone. Out of the net comes Liam Swenson to play this one back towards the left. A play back to center. Nice pass coming from Rylan Spanier to find Ryan Camarillo. He goes looking for Wiggestrand on the right. The puck too strong. David Jelinik's back for it for the Spoilers. They'll turn it back towards the left. Colton Len trying to drive his way back in. Loose back behind the net again. Jelinek going back to pick it up. Wiggestrand fights for control against Trace Anderson. Puck loose on the wall. Spoilers with a couple of men there trying to double team against Camarillo. This works back to the point. Wiggestrand off to the left side finding Cruz Mahar. His shot coming in on Shots. And Shots will sit on that and hold for another draw. 2:23 into the second period of play. Shots are 12-10 in favor of West Fargo. Got a really nice crowd on hand for this one today. Grafton came out in numbers on a Saturday afternoon. Got some really nice weather out there, and I mean the Spoilers really filled up. And I'm sure there's some West Fargo bodies down there as well, but a really nice crowd here today all the way through. Another shot in on Shots. That one turned aside. It came from the point, and Jack Josephson. Puck loose in the corner. Medina trying to play it back to the point. Josephson will get it in the neutral zone, but can't keep it in the offensive end. We'll dump it back down, and West Fargo gets back on side. Jelinek over in the right corner, turning it back towards the right for Soren Olsen. Olsen back to center for Troftgruben, absorbing a hit. Tries to backhand his way through the heart of the ice. Lost the puck to Ian Scarry for West Fargo. Scarry turns it back behind him. Touch up there by Mahar, back to the West Fargo line. A stop by Medina. Medina will turn it back towards the right. Loose puck on the right side. Picked up for Grafton, Park River by David Jelinek. Jelinek turned it back up on the near side wall, and then Grafton Park River again exposed offside. Jelinek dumps it in while the Spoilers get out. And West Fargo trying to play it back up the ice. Josephson a toss up the far wall. Goes loose on a turnover. Jonathan Presting came up with a touch for Grafton Park River and turned it into the near side corner. Troftgruben delivers a hit on the near side. Puck went loose. It was Mara that got hit. Troftgruben got it back out in front of the net. Had a chance to play it. Swenson lays out, and the puck was nudged as far as the high slot before the Spoilers could get to it. Now a breakout pass to center, and Rowan Schneck comes up the ice. He tried to make a pass to Medina. That was broken up, and the rush the other way being led by Troftgruben for Grafton Park River. His wrister taken by Swenson, deflected up on the high glass. Now a poke back into the neutral zone, and here's Scarry. He's coming one-on-one with Carson Thomas. Scarry to his forehand side right circle. Short-sided. Shots makes a big save defending the right pipe. Scarry got the loose puck back. Turning back as far as the slot. Drops one off on the left point. Quinn Bosch steps in. He turns into the doorstep, and Medina will score for West Fargo. Set up on the rush by Ian Scarry. He kept the puck alive, and Bosch got it from the point, turned it down to the right doorstep on top of the crease, and Medina will score for West Fargo. Let's take a look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Scarry decides to make the drop-off right there on the left point. That allowed for Bosch to step in, down to the doorstep, almost a tap in that time. And West Fargo will take a 2-0 lead. The time of the goal will be at 4 minutes and 5 seconds of the second period. And Medina will come up with a goal for West Fargo. Packers now with a 2-0 lead and all kinds of momentum really for about the last 8 minutes of the hockey game going back to the end of the first period. And this might start to get to be a little desperate for the Spoilers. Medina picks up the goal. There will be an assist on it and another. Scarry will pick up an assist on it as well along with Quinn Bosch. So again, it'll be Medina from Bosch and Scarry at 4:05 of the second period. And that makes it 2-0 in favor of the Packers. Spoilers on the right, drive into traffic. Soren Olsen had it deflected. It'll come back towards the near side. A touch up along the wall by Tristan Wynn. Wynn trying to turn his way down the near side wall. Instead, a backhander from West Fargo's Riley Clevin put it back into the neutral zone. Olsen able to hold on to it, and it's driven down the left wing by Augie Miller. Back over towards the right corner. The Spoilers got to it. Trace Anderson trying to make a play to center, ends up having it deflected. Carson Thomas steps up in the offensive end. He has it deflected off his stick by Quinn Bosch. Loose into the corner again. A step back. Noah Suda, part of the third line for Grafton Park River, turns it back over towards the right corner. Step in by Thomas Austin. Grafton trying to keep the offensive mindset going. Anderson a drive into traffic. Swenson will turn it away with the stick and watches it back into the corner. Suda again for the Spoilers. And a step in by Trace Anderson there as well. Grafton Park River with some good cycle time. This will be forced out by West Fargo, and we'll see a draw coming up in the Packers zone. Our coverage is brought to you today by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. The PS stands for perfect service, and they've got service for any make and model of garage door. When you need service on your garage door, you need PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR, Grand Forks, Devils Lake. PS Garage Doors. We'll draw to the right of the Packer net, and this will be forced back by Jack Josephson off the draw into the West Fargo end. Packers chip it out. Ryan Camarillo coming up the ice, defended well. Loose puck comes back towards the left for Torin Beneda. Beneda looks up through the neutral zone. Marcus Moe trying to close down on the distance to the puck, but couldn't quite find it. And Ashton Wiggestrand comes away with it for the Packers. Wiggestrand up ice, wrister blocked and partially deflected back into the corner. Cruz Mahar got it for the Pack and turned it back into the corner for Wiggestrand. A dump back for Camarillo that was held up. Carson Thomas digging it out. Goes back towards the left wing. Colton Len trying to drive one in. That one just about got by shots. He made a play off the blocker and sent it back into the corner, but may have been beaten on it for a moment. Len again turns it down to the doorstep, and there's a one-timer that will score for Ashton Wiggestrand. And the Packers will take a 3-0 lead. We mentioned the momentum seemed to be finding its way into the hands of West Fargo, and now that is a certainty as West Fargo will go up 3 goals early in the second period. The time of the goal will be at 6:24. I'll look at it again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Wiggestrand behind the net, just wrapped it over towards the left and right down to the top of the crease again. Wiggestrand comes back to it and taps it in with a big opening on the right side. And that'll make it 3-0 in favor of West Fargo. And one more for the Packers, and we'll see Grafton Park River in real trouble. It is imperative that Grafton Park River come up with something soon offensively. Gage Miller driving one in from the right. That'll be deflected up into the netting, and we'll get the official scoring on the goal. Wiggestrand does pick up credit for the goal for West Fargo. Will be an assist for Len and Camarillo. So Wiggestrand from Len and Camarillo at 6:24 of the period makes it 3-0 in favor of the West Fargo Packers over the Grafton Park River Spoilers. And again, without a goal here soon, Grafton Park River in a big, big hole. Still a lot of time left. Huge hit in the corner that was thrown by Augie Miller. He paid a visit, I believe, to West Fargo defender Gage Miller and threw him hard into the wall, and then hits Miller from behind as well and takes him down. And that's not going to be taken well by Miller. He had some words to say as he came back behind Augie Miller. It was Gage Miller being hit by Augie Miller, and those two exchanged some words after that second hit that put him on the ground. Puck on the right wall for Grafton Park River, 3-on-2, but the Packers win it. Ian Scarry looking to get on the race up the ice. Scarry looking to his right, drops one off to the right for Medina. Snapshot there, trying to bring it back towards Scarry. A tip goes wide. Josephson follows it up with a drive that was blocked and picked off by Drew Suda. And Suda's in by himself. Suda fires and scores! Oh no, he does not. My apologies. They wave it off. Now they score from the point. And it's Augie Miller that will put it in. Well, an optical illusion for us, and the official waved off the first effort. I thought that hit the back of the net and came out, but it went around the net. My apologies, folks. A tough angle for us to see it from there, but it's followed up from the point anyway, and I think so many thought that the goal was scored that they kind of gave up on the play. But Miller scores at 7:38. Let's take a look at it in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Here's the first shot that looked like it went in, and apparently it went just wide of the net. The rebound pops back to the point, and it's fed back in by Miller, who goes across the body of Swenson. May have lost it with some traffic in front of his eyes on that left wall, and that's going to make it a 3-1 game, and Grafton Park River comes back to give their game and their season, perhaps, some new life in this one. And you feel the idea now that this game is beginning to loosen up, and this is going to become more about transitions and hitting and not a whole lot of poise, at least through this second period. That seems to be what it's turned into. And when a team gets desperate, that's really what it does turn into. They're going to give David Jelinek the goal on that. May have been tipped on the way in. Augie Miller gets an assist on it. It'll be Jelinek from Miller at 7:38 of the period, and that'll make it 3-1. Grafton Park River has cut the lead to 2, and now the Spoilers trying to get back up ice. West Fargo has a defender back. Cruz Mahar trying to take one away from Mo. Loose puck to Troftgruben. He played it out in front. There was an opening, but no one home to take advantage. And Carson Thomas will grab a loose puck for Grafton Park River and send it back towards the right wall. It's taken there by Thomas Austin. A drive into traffic that's blocked. A try by Troftgruben to get to it, but West Fargo will clear. And we'll see a draw going back into the Packer end. Our draws are brought to you by Apex Apparel and Promotions, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. And they're brought to you as well by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. And we've had plenty to talk about in this period already. 2 goals for West Fargo, backed up by a goal from Grafton Park River. And the Spoilers are back in it, now down by a score of 3-1. And the Spoilers continue with their offensive push. Again, when a team gets desperate, this is where things change in the play-in round, and we start to see tournament hockey really begin to set in. An icing call coming up against West Fargo that will bring us back into the Packer zone. This is what you like. This is what you play for all year when it comes down to tournament hockey. Is you play all those regular season games, you start back after Thanksgiving, and you're already to Valentine's Day, but it always comes to this where a team will begin to feel their season on the line in a situation like this one. And how they respond really amps up the atmosphere in a building, and it really makes tournament time just awesome. In every sport, we get to start it here. Shot from the point again, Miller, and a backhanded rebound, then another rebounded opportunity coming in for Drew Suda. But Liam Swenson stands up to all of it, and he'll hold for the whistle. And Grafton Park River's been successful on turning the ice back in their favor. Shots on goal are 18-14 in favor of the Packers at this point. And a draw again coming up in the West Fargo zone. And off the point, a drive coming in from David Jelinek, who got credit for the last goal for Grafton Park River. Suda in the right corner trying to drop one back behind the net. Jonathan Presting turning back and forth. A step in coming from Augie Miller. Miller comes to a stop on the right wall. Off to the high slot. A look for Presting trying to get a shot free. Ends up being blocked, but Presting stayed with it. Fired it up in the air, and it ends up bounding wide to the near circle. West Fargo looking for a clearing play. This was deflected by the Spoilers. And a big hit from Ian Scarry coming in to free a puck back in the Grafton Park River zone. Rowan Schneck comes away with it for the Packers. To Scarry back behind the net, and Scarry gets held up on a physical play from Soren Olsen. Puck turns off to the right for Jonathan Presting. We may have seen a penalty call back behind the play. This may be interference against Soren Olsen. Scarry was held up. I believe they're calling it a slash. It'll be a slashing call against Soren Olsen. That may have been something that happened after the puck had transitioned back up the ice. But we're going to see another power play coming up here for West Fargo. Time of the penalty at 9 minutes 53 seconds of the second period. And Soren Olsen will go in for slashing. And a power play now for West Fargo, brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. Scarry gets a shot away right off the draw. A kick save by Schatz and a clearing play that stops on the far point from Brody Medina. And Medina blocks another opportunity to clear. Here comes West Fargo with Len taking a look. Back to Medina, and now Len in the corner to the high slot for Josephson. Cross ice pass, right side, Scarry looking to snipe. Put one in on Shots. Rebound surrendered. It goes loose to the high slot and taken away by Noah Troftgruben, who will skate a while. Troftgruben up ice, turning away from pressure from Josephson. Got it to the far wall, couldn't hold it up. And a step in by Medina to take care of it for the Packers. 1:20 to play on the power play clock for the Packers. They're on the man advantage for the second time today. Rather, they're down. This is their first power play today. Shots will cover a shot from Scarry. We'll see a draw coming up in the Spoiler zone. Just the second penalty today, and the first that was called against Grafton Park River. The earlier was Brody Lawaji, who was called for checking from behind back in the first period. That was a 5-minute major penalty against West Fargo, and the Spoilers failed to score. The Packers now on the man advantage for the first time today. Draw battled for in the left circle of the Grafton Park River zone. Comes out to the high slot for Quinn Bosch. Bosch off to the left, looking to get the puck back. Was feathered back to him by Riley Clevin. Clevin a stop, puck picked off. A step right between a pair of men for Jonathan Presting. Clevin gets back to hold up Presting down the ice, but Marcus Moe backhands and now comes away with it up in the offensive zone. Moe right circle, firing, kick save by Liam Swenson. Big rebound there, but The Spoilers keeping their defenders back as they're on the penalty kill. No chance to take advantage. A step up ice on Halo Buchholz, who set up the first scoring play today for West Fargo. Buchholz gets trapped in the corner. Jelinik's stick gets picked as he tries to clear it up the wall. Battle for control, and now the Spoilers will dump it back into the West Fargo zone. 5 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the second period. 20 seconds and change on the power play clock for West Fargo. Camarillo opens things up the middle. Finds Cruz Mahar with a drive in on shots, and shots will hold for the whistle. 3-1 your score in the All True scoreboard. Scoreboard updates are brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Make an appointment. Call 780-5000. Online at alltrue.org. Mayport area gets a goal back early third from Easton Hansen, and that's a 2-1 hockey game going on in Devils Lake. Another clearing play by Grafton Park River. 3-1 here, West Fargo on top. Mayport area gets a goal back in their matchup with the Firebirds, and the Ice Dogs try to make the East Region tournament for the second straight season. Have a 2-1 deficit with the Firebirds, and Grafton Park River now back at full strength. So the Packers come away empty-handed. 32% on their power play this season, but they come up empty there. Back up ice on the rush will be Ashton Wiggestrand for West Fargo. Wiggestrand back to Scarry on the point, who will dump it back behind the net. Colton Len trying to get to it. Looks like some of the elements of their power play are still on the ice here for West Fargo. They haven't been able to put their defenders. I think they got 4 forwards out there right now. There's a drive from the high slot by Scarry that's deflected up into the webbing. Wiggestrand, Len, Scarry. Yeah, I think they had 4 forwards on the ice there. They hadn't quite been able to put their unit back together at the expiration of their power play. They'll do so now. 3-1 your score with Grafton Park River down 2 to West Fargo. Been a fun hockey game so far today. A draw to the left of Ben Schatz, the netminder for the Spoilers. Spoilers win control of the draw and poke it back to the neutral zone. Back to get to it for West Fargo was Ryland Spanier. Spanier turns it off to Camarillo on the right side wall. Camarillo picked. Landon Corrick steps in for possession. Comes back to the high slot again. Drive coming in. Rebounded puck. Wiggestrand sends it wide after Quinn Bosch started the play. Bosch back to the right point, trying to backhand down the wall. He'll get picked off by Carson Thomas of Grafton Park River, and Thomas guides the puck up into the neutral zone. Now Thomas stepping forward. Got over into the right circle. Steps down right corner. Tried to play it in front of the net. It was blocked again. Camarillo for West Fargo plays it back out to the neutral zone. A hit on Halo Buchholz. He got taken down hard. We'll see a whistle on it. See if that's going to be just an icing call here against the Spoilers, or if the penalty door is going to open again. It doesn't look like it will. Actually, the Packers, rather, going to be called for icing. Buchholz giving up the puck before he got to the red line and then took the big hit. Probably anticipated the hit coming. 3:54 to play of the second period. We'll draw to the right of West Fargo goaltender Liam Swenson. Ian Scarry talking things over with an official before he steps to the face-off dot. And he'll draw against Grafton Park River's Drew Suda. Suda wins the draw. It comes back to the point. Jelinek able to hold it into the offensive end. Presting taking a look, trying to step back on his forehand side to the right circle. Got held up. Loose puck off the wall to Augie Miller. He went looking for Presting in the high slot. Puck can't be held in the offensive zone. Leaks back out neutral. Soren Nelson goes back to get it for Grafton Park River. They get back on side. Dump in from Jelinek. That's picked off. Jack Josephson for West Fargo. Looks up the ice. A puck knocked down on a takeaway that time from Augie Miller. And now it'll be brought back up by Drew Suda for Grafton Park River. He's down numbers as he comes up the left wall. Suda trying to toe dangle around Cruz Mahar, and Mahar picked him off. And now here comes 3-on-2 odd man for West Fargo, led by Ian Scarry. Right circle, put one on the side of the net from a steep angle. Puck loose in the corner. Medina comes back towards the point, finding Mahar. He'll stir it back left. Josephson, lots of open ice, drives one up and over the bar. And this will float back into the West Fargo zone. Touched up, no icing call. And both teams will take an opportunity to change some of the personnel. Grafton Park River trying to change them all. Long pass up the ice for Medina. He'll dump it down the right side boards for the Packers. Puck goes loose left side. Thomas Austin for Grafton Park River comes back towards the left, trying to find Marcus Moe. Back to the right for Austin again. Down to 2:35 to play in the period. 3-1, West Fargo by 2 on the All True scoreboard. A drive by Austin up the ice, left it in the circle. Drive off the right side of the net. Again, the crowd reacts as if they score. Torrin Beneda hit the right side of the net. That time you could see it bounce clean of the net, so it didn't fool us this time around. Puck goes loose, batted along the near side wall. A throw of a stick by Carson Thomas, kept it afloat. Marcus Moe steps back towards the corner, and now Scarry steps in the back check. Floats one off the board, but again came back as far as the point, no further. Carson Thomas able to hold the offensive end. Now he'll lose it. Has to step back into the neutral zone to regain control of the puck. 2 minutes left of the period. Still 3-1. West Fargo by 2 over Grafton Park River. Drive off the right side, goes up and high. Just trying to play it back in for Brody Medina and West Fargo. Medina over to pick it up. Loose puck to Carson Thomas. Thomas plays it out towards the right side. Tristan Wynn reaching over the top. One comes back towards the right. A poke by Riley Clevin sent it free. Clevin will take it back from Buchholz. A turn back towards the right side. Taken there on a shot from the point by Ryland Spanier. Then Schatz will cover it up and will hold for a draw in the Grafton Park River zone. 1:33 remaining, second period. Intermission report, we'll take a look at the highlights from period number 2, so stay with us for that. And we'll run you through the all-true scoreboard again, as well as we'll keep track of what's going on out in Devil's Lake. But a goal for Easton Hansen of Mayport area on the power play has turned that into a one-goal hockey game, as both Devil's Lake and Mayport area battling for survival in the play-in round today, as are West Fargo and Grafton Park River here. Puck back to the point again. Drew Suda trying to step through contact. Up in the air, Suda brought it down. West Fargo able to turn it back in their direction. Tristan Wynn, who scored the first goal for the Packers, turns it back up into the Grafton Park River zone. Puck loose left side, play back out in front for Drew Suda. Here come the Spoilers, 3-on-2. They've got a bit of an odd man here. Suda, a drive, kicked aside by Swenson. Rebounded puck backhanded towards the net by Miller, but wide. And we're down to the final minute of the second period. Here's another shot from the wing, that time from Jelinek. And now from a steep angle by Jelinek. Both go wide. A return shot blasted wide from the right point by Soren Olsen. Now back to the near wall for Augie Miller. Miller stepping into the circle. Packers trying to play it out. A turn by Wynn and a flip off the near side boards with 40 seconds to go. Packers trying to change up, and the Spoilers trying to catch them. Augie Miller steps up into the zone, made a pass. That was broken up. Loose puck to Cruz Mahar for West Fargo. Wiggestrand goes looking up the ice. Trofgruben turned that aside. Wiggestrand down below us. Turns it back towards the right. It's picked by Trofgruben. Trofgruben up for Grafton Park River. He got turned aside as well. Loose puck to Jack Josephson. Every inch of ice competitive right now. Final 10 seconds. Wiggestrand on a rush. Pokes one wide and took a hit from Soren Olsen for his efforts. Wiggestrand back to it in the corner. Dropped it back down for Camarillo. Down to 2. The Spoilers will break it up, and that's the end of the second period. Entertaining period of hockey. West Fargo put 2 on in a hurry. Grafton Park River scored when they absolutely needed to keep things afloat for the Spoilers. And after 2 periods of play on the all-true scoreboard, it's West Fargo 3 and Grafton Park River 1. We'll come back with our intermission report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. In just a couple of moments, we invite you to stay with us. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens.
At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need: turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto in Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports, as we continue from Centennial Center in Grafton today. Playing round of the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament. Ryan Cunningham with Luca Carpenter here today for our coverage on KNOX Live Sports and KNOX Radio. And at the end of 2 periods of play, Grand Forks Central awaiting their next opponent. West Fargo with a 3-1 lead over Grafton Park River. And our intermission report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Well, as this second period got underway, 2 goals in 6.5 minutes for West Fargo. They led 3-0, and you knew that if Grafton Park River didn't respond with a real sense of urgency, time was going to become a factor, and the end of the season may be near. Well, Grafton Park River got the sense of urgency that they needed, and they got it in a hurry to come back and cut the game to a 2-goal lead, but the shots on goal advantage still 27-18 in favor of West Fargo. And as they gained some confidence at the end of the first period, West Fargo really carried that over into the second period. And outside of the scoring play for Grafton Park River and a couple of flurries that they had in the second, West Fargo probably won the tail of the tape in that period number 2, just beyond the goals, the idea of the time and space factor and the battle factor as well. So the Packers still with some momentum, and Grafton Park River will have to try to counter some of that off if they're going to find their way back into this one today. Let's take a look at our highlights that we had for the second period of play. And our highlights brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent in Grand Forks. This gets started with Brody Medina. Play that Ian Scarry makes by dropping off on the left, and the play down to Medina, wide open with an open goal. And Medina scores the second goal of the game for West Fargo. That came at 4:05. Then 2.5 minutes later, another play that just stays alive on the left wall. This is poked down to another opening on the left of shots and thrown in by Ashton Wigestrand. And at that point, 3-0 West Fargo, and it's a little bit of trouble. But Grafton Park River gets a breakout. The crowd thought they had scored there. They did not. Loose puck taken near side. Augie Miller shovels it off on the wall, and this is thrown in by Jelinek from the left wing for a score. So Jelinek comes back with a goal for Grafton Park River, and that was just 1 minute and 14 seconds after Wigestrand's goal gave West Fargo a 3-0 lead. So that goal by Jelinek turned out to be a huge goal for Grafton Park River, as that cuts the lead back to 2 and at least makes this a makeable game going into the third period of play, with West Fargo still on top by a score of 3-1. Those are our highlights, and they're brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent in Grand Forks. So let's go through who lit the lamp, and it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Brody Medina and Ashton Wigestrand light the lamp for West Fargo. West Fargo's on the board today with 9 points, and 9 different players have those 9 points today. They've really found a way to get some balance going today, has West Fargo. Brody Medina scores at 4:05, with assists coming from Quinn Bosch and Ian Scarry, the defenseman, getting involved in the scoring action there for West Fargo, which is a nice pickup for the Packers. They need some of that. And Ashton Wigestrand getting on the board. That came at 6:24, and that goal for Wigestrand from Colton Len and Ryan Camarillo, the entire second line scoring. So for the Packers today, they have blue line scoring, they have forward scoring, and they have scoring from 3 different lines this afternoon, so they've been very balanced on how they've done things today. A goal for David Jelinek becomes his 4th of the season. Jelinek scores at 7:38 with an assist coming from Augie Miller. That was his 4th assist and his 8th point of the year. And David Jelinek scoring at 7:38 to cut the lead back to 2. 3-1 at that point. And again, David Jelinek from the blue line scoring his 17th point of the season and his 4th goal. One of the leading scorers for Grafton Park River comes up with a big play for the Spoilers. And the Spoilers cut the lead to 2. And that's Who Lit the Lamp. It's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. We'll take a break on our intermission report. An all-true scoreboard update coming as we'll continue to monitor what's happening in Devil's Lake today between the Firebirds and Mayport area in the 7-10 matchup. That was a good hockey game going into the early part of the 3rd period with Mayport area coming back to cut it to a 1-goal game out in Devil's Lake. So we'll update you on that and get ready for 3rd period action here at Centennial Center in Grafton. After 2 periods, West Fargo 3, Grafton Park River 1. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for 2.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for 2 for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports, and KNOX Radio today in Grand Forks. Your score on the all-true scoreboard after 2 periods of play. In our 8-9 matchup is the 9 seed, West Fargo leading the 8 seed, Grafton Park River, by a score of 3-1 in the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament play-in round today. Ryan Cunningham, Luca Carpenter with your coverage today from Grafton, North Dakota and Centennial Center. Our intermission report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Let's take a look at our all-true scoreboard, and our scoreboard updates are brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. A power play goal for Mayport area has put the Patriots on the board against Devil's Lake, and right now the Firebirds lead that game by a score of 2-1. Goals earlier in the game for Devil's Lake's Cole Thompson and Carson Hogness were each scored in the first to make it 2-0, but in the third, Mayport area strikes after a penalty. was taken. They don't have the penalty recorded as of yet. Actually, they do. Jackson Schumacher took a 5-minute major for head contact late second period, and just before that power play was to run out, Easton Hansen scores for Mayport area to cut that deficit to 2-1. So we've seen a couple of major penalties taken today in the playing round, and Easton Hansen with assists from Carter Anderson and Liam Marquardt makes it a 2-1 matchup, and that one's in the mid-third period out there. And again, that's a battle for survival as well. And that's the latest that we have on our All True scoreboard, and it's brought to you by All True. And we'll keep you up to date with the West coming up on Monday when their play-in games begin. We're ready to go for third period action in just a couple of moments. We invite you to stay with us. After 2, it's 3-1 West Fargo over Grafton Park River. Our third period of action is on the way next.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Well, for the second consecutive time, we decided to start a period early today. They took nearly 2 minutes off the board there. I'm not sure what they're doing. Troftgruben with a drive for Grafton Park River that ends up off the end wall. Loose puck picked up and driven in on Swenson, who'll cover it up after we see a drive from Torrin Bennett off the backhand side that ends up being stopped by Swenson. 3-1 your score. West Fargo on top by 2 over Grafton Park River in our Eastern Dakota Conference play-in matchup. On the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports. We'll draw to the left of Swenson. Grafton Park River needs 2. West Fargo trying to do something to secure a trip to the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament on Tuesday. And the loser of this matchup will see their season come to an end this afternoon. So at some point, the ferocity is going to pick up in this one, you would think, and probably sooner rather than later. Troftgruben stepping in towards the left corner for Grafton Park River against Cruz Mahar. So far, Grafton Park River with some momentum up into the offensive end. Loose puck, Marcus Moe got it back to Troftgruben from the circle, a snapper that's up and over the bar. Moe trying to chase down the rebound. Instead, it comes back to Torrin Beneda. Seems to be a lineup change here for Grafton Park River. Beneda playing out there with Moe and Troftgruben now on that first line. West Fargo trying to clear, Scary trying to get to it, and the puck stuck on some water from the resurfacing that hadn't cleared yet in the corner. Maybe they should have given it another 90 seconds before deciding to start the period. We'd have good ice. Puck on the right side, Moe. Was the officials that decided to call for play rather than the clock running out, and they've done that a couple of times today. I'm sure they don't know that there's any reason to not do that. And a play coming up the ice. Wiggestrand may have been tripped up. The crowd doesn't get the call they're looking for from West Fargo, but it looked like Wiggestrand just fell. I didn't see a stick on him, so perhaps a good no call there. Wiggestrand coming up on the right wall, driving in, got back behind the net, circles out towards the corner, and pressed there by Drew Suda. Puck back towards the point, picked up by Ryland Spanier. Spanier trying to drive one in. Wiggestrand back to Spanier on the point. Comes off towards the right. Picked up there by Quinn Bosch. Bosch with a shot that gets deflected. Loose puck back off to the right. Colton Len with it. Back to Spanier from distance, and Ben Schatz backhand that one with a glove hand and hold for the whistle. 2 minutes in. 3-1 your score. Without overtime, somebody's season comes to an end after 15 minutes of play remaining. We'll draw to the left of Ben Schatz in the Grafton Park River zone. And we see Suda stepping in to take the draw against Camarillo. Suda for Grafton Park River, Camarillo for West Fargo. Puck off the right side. Jonathan Presting stepping up. He'll widen out on the right wall. Got into the circle. Tried to play it out in front. There was a chance for Suda. It was deflected. Camarillo comes away with it. Grafton Park River's been around it a couple of different times here in the frame. Long pass up ice that was chipped. They'll say play through it and off the end wall. Soren Olsen will go to pick it up. David Jelinek for Grafton Park River, a backhander up into the neutral zone. It goes loose to center ice. Presting trying to take it off the left wall in front of Soren Olsen. Josephson was able to get back, actually Mahar rather, and break it up for West Fargo. Wiggestrand back at center ice. Wiggestrand off the right, dumping back into the corner. He'll go off on a change. And West Fargo will allow Grafton Park River back to it as they change up the line. Soren Olsen back to center. Landon Korick trying to step up into the neutral zone. Loose puck. Ian Scarry trying to get a step on a cherry pick. Scarry a drive that goes wide of the net. And then Scarry ends up falling to the ice, trying to jump out of the way on the right, while loose puck is carried back in by Rowan Schneck for West Fargo. Schneck trying to turn it up the wall. Scarry keeps it in the corner. Schneck being battled from behind for position by Carson Thomas, and a pair of other spoilers are there as well. It'll be pulled away by Trace Anderson. Here's 3-on-3 for Grafton Park River. Anderson around a defender on the far side. Mahar turns him into the wall, comes away with the puck and breaks it out near side for Scarry. He's one-on-one against Troftgruben. Scarry caught him, and Troftgruben got a stick on his ankles, and we're going to see a call coming up against Grafton Park River. We'll see a tripping call against Troftgruben at 3:30 of the third period. And West Fargo is going to have an opportunity to put some distance on the man advantage. Troftgruben for tripping will be the penalty. And Grafton Park River back to the penalty kill. Power play opportunity brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online at rbbelectric.com. So the Packers go on the man advantage as Troftgruben is hit for tripping. At 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the period, Grafton Park River gets a clearing play right off the draw. Jack Josephson goes back to pick it up for West Fargo, and he'll look to come out towards the left with the control of the puck. He's got it. Plays it up the ice. Deep pass for Wiggestrand, trying to drop off in the offensive zone entry for Brody Medina. Good entry for West Fargo. They get an opportunity there. Josephson on the high slot, playing back to Scarry, top of the right circle. He has it defended loose by Mo. Scarry gets pinned up against the wall. Puck will come back towards the right for Medina. Medina, a lot of look, comes back high slot, able to find Josephson. His shot gets deflected up into the webbing. And we'll see 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining on the power play clock for West Fargo. Dangerous time here for Grafton Park River. Down a man, down 2 goals. And Noah Troftgruben, who's a guy that could probably a really good two-way player for Grafton Park River, going to be a good penalty killer when he's on the ice, gives you a chance at some shorthanded offense, which you could use when you're down a man in the third period. And right now he's the man that's on the bench, so a valuable minute 17 left of power play time as a draw ends up back at Ben Schatz, and he'll cover it. Jack Josephson will step back to center to take on Trace Anderson, and another draw at Schatz. And again, Schatz will just put a glove on it. And 2 seconds comes off the power play clock. Down to 1:15 of it to go. Trace Anderson again for the draw, this time against Jack Josephson for West Fargo. And Anderson will spike the draw off the near side wall. Medina able to hold an offensive end on the left point. West Fargo to work. Medina charging in, left open with some open ice. Tried to flip one top shelf. Shots took it off his shoulder and deflected it up into the net. And now with 1:06 left of the power play, we'll do it again. Our draw is brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region, and by Apex Apparel and Promotions, your family-owned promotional shop and apparel shop in Grand Forks. Scarry off to Josephson on the high slot for West Fargo. Medina, look. Medina stepping back, tries to drive one towards the far corner. Scarry picked it up. Out in front, Wiggestrand at his one-timer, ends up wide. Scarry picked up the loose puck. Back to Wiggestrand in the corner. Wiggestrand takes a hit from behind from Soren Olsen. Loose puck to Torin Beneda. He drove it back into the neutral zone, and West Fargo will have to get back on side. Scarry steps to his right, now wants to lead the charge up the ice. Stick handled around a defender, got loose, but Ben Schatz came over to confront him. Stops him short-sided on the left, and we'll draw again on the Grafton Park River zone with 33 seconds left of the power play. This time we'll draw to the left of Ben Schatz. And West Fargo gathering their troops. Marcus Moe will go to the circle. Halo Buchholz, who set up the first scoring play for West Fargo today, steps to the circle, and a good physical battle for the draw that comes out high. A drive that's kept low from Quinn Bosch ends up sailing wide to the left. And Grafton Park Rivers' Marcus Moe will fight it out of the corner and back into the West Fargo zone. Back to get to it, Quinn Bosch for the Pack. 10 seconds left to go on the power play clock. Long pass up the ice, drifting back into the Grafton Park River zone. It will be free, but it'll go back to Grafton Park River. Thomas Austin is there. Austin turns it back behind the net, finding Carson Thomas. Thomas got turned around just as Grafton Park River's penalty's over. Noah Troftgruben comes out of the box, picks up a loose puck in the neutral zone. He comes up ice into the offensive end, takes a turn out of the right circle. Steps wide of a defender, backhands one towards the corner. It's broken up. Packers come away with the takeaway. And a look up ice from Rowan Schneck into the neutral zone. Puck picked up off the wall. Halo Buchholz driving in. Floated one towards the net. Shots will cover it. And we'll draw again coming up in the Grafton Park River zone. Devils Lake has defeated Mayport area. Final score 2-1 today. The shots were 32-25 Devils Lake. And so the 10 seed will not make an appearance back in the East Region tournament again this year. Mayport area represented themselves really well last season in the tournament. We were impressed with what we saw from Mayport area for a team that doesn't get to play all the teams in the East Region, and they gave a good hard tournament after winning a play-in matchup on the road last year. But Devils Lake, the 7 seed, will take on Grand Forks Red River on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock at Blue Line Iceplex. West Fargo fighting for control out on top of the crease. Loose puck hit off a pipe on a drive that came from Tristan Wynn. Another near miss for West Fargo and another near miss in this net to our left. Puck comes back out of the neutral zone and pushed back down by West Fargo's Wiley Clement. Ends up back behind the Grafton Park River net. Soren Olsen's there. Olsen playing out the center for Troftgruben. 3-on-3 for Grafton Park River. Troftgruben coming up the ice. Driving one in from the right circle. Rebound surrendered, and Troftgruben went after it. It was covered by Liam Swenson with the stick hand. Troftgruben made an extra step at it, and that bothered a couple of the West Fargo Packers as Cruz Mahar had a bit of something to say about it. And Grafton Park River will make a change with 10:20 left to go in the third. Shots are 34-21 West Fargo. Grafton Park River just has not had the opportunity to put a lot of offense on the ice this afternoon. Puck picked up on the right corner off the draw, and it comes in on that draw for Ryland Spanier of West Fargo. A turn and a wing towards the net that time by Augie Miller. That goes wide. Spanier coming over to pick it up. Drew Suda steps in front of him. Loose puck back out to center. It'll be taken on the right for West Fargo and by Brody Medina. Medina left it for Scary in the right circle. Back down towards the crease for Rowan Schneck. He got turned around. The net was open, but West Fargo couldn't capitalize. Loose puck back to the line for Medina. Scary in the corner. Trying to play one back rink wide. Instead picked off by Augie Miller. Miller trying to spit a pair of defenders and ends up having it deflected off his stick. Medina back, turning it up ice for Scary. He's 2-on-2. Dangles around a defender but couldn't get loose of Jelinek. Turned it back to the right wall. Medina trying to carry it in behind the net. He's paid a visit by Soren Olsen, and Olsen dumps him on the ice. Jelinek turns it back up ice. Left side, Augie Miller stepping up into the offensive end. His drive goes wide of the net. Rebound will carry him back to Trace Anderson on the left wall. Anderson drops it off towards the point. Jelinek trying to hold it in. He's got the lone goal for Grafton Park River today. Another drive towards the net. Swenson kicks it aside, and it's picked up by Josephson immediately for West Fargo. Play back towards Scary, broken up. Jelinek was back defensively. Jelinek's been very good today for Grafton Park River. Two-way player, that time defending Scary after taking a shot of his own. Wiggestrand in the corner. He'll get put to the wall by Jelinek. This puck behind the net. Soren Olsen turns it off towards the right. Landon Corrick got to it for Grafton Park River, and Wiggestrand took him out. No arm goes up. They'll say clean head. Puck on the left board. Soren Olsen backhands it into the West Fargo zone. And back to get to it, Josephson for the Packers. Josephson tripped up a little bit. Cruz Mahar trying for an opening. Troftgruben's back on to lead another shift for Grafton's top line. He comes back towards the far circle, a little behind Trace Anderson. To the point, a drive that got blocked again, that time taken by Carson Thomas. He'll put it back behind the net. A stop by Noah Suda for Grafton Park River. Off to Wiggestrand for West Fargo on a hit. He got turned around. Colton Len comes away with it for the Packers. He comes up ice with Wiggestrand. They got around Troftgruben. 2-on-2. Len left side drive. Shots deflects that. And the rebound will ring back into the neutral zone. Puck taken up by Quinn Bosch for West Fargo. Troftgruben left side picking up a loose puck. He's up ice by himself as Grafton Park River changes behind him. He'll take a hit in the corner, no chance to keep possession. Loose puck to Ryland Spanier for the Packers, who turns it back into the corner. Troftgruben this time taking one from Marcus Moe. Troftgruben lost his stick. We're going to see a penalty coming up against West Fargo, and Grafton Park River is going to go to the power play. Troftgruben went looking for a call right away after his stick was knocked out of his hands. And a slashing call coming up against the Packers, Camarillo. It'll be Camarillo for slashing at 9 minutes 18 seconds of the third period. And Grafton Park River goes on the RBB Electric power play, brought to you by RBB Electric, on call, on time, and online, RBBelectric.com. Spoilers on the power play, rather, not the Packers, and the Spoilers need a goal in the worst way, down by a pair at this point. Puck loose in the corner. Troftgruben trying to kick it free. A battle for control along the wall. Quinn Bosch leading it for the Packers. It spins back in the neutral zone. Austin trying to get his team back on side. Jelinek steps up, backhands one back towards the left. He's got Jonathan Presting. Presting a stop, back to Troftgruben left point, back to Presting top of the left circle. Moe back to Presting, trying to crash the slot. Puck goes loose onto the far wall, taken up by Thomas Austin. Austin trying to turn it into the corner for Jelinek. That's deflected. West Fargo will push it back out in the neutral zone. Back to reform for Grafton Park River in the power play rush. Long pass near side, picked off. Good defensive play by Ryland Spanier. Down to 1:10 left of the power play for the Spoilers. They trail by a score of 3-1. We're under 7 minutes to play in the game. A drive up the ice, skating free. Thomas Austin all the way to the corner. Dumped one across the crease. Troftgruben picks it up, bounces one back towards the net, and it bounced just wide. A broken stick's on the ice as well. Meanwhile, the loose puck picked up near side. Troftgruben trying to lift it. Scary pulled it away. It was Medina that broke a stick. He gets a spare while Scary comes up the ice and scores shorthanded to put West Fargo on the board for the fourth time. It'll be at 10 minutes and 36 seconds of the third period, and West Fargo adds a shorthanded goal to their total today, and their leading scorer, Ian Scary, one of the more dynamic skaters you're going to find in the Eastern Dakota Conference, comes up ice for a shorty to make it 4-1 West Fargo. Look at it again, the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Ian Scary just picking Troftgruben from behind. He got a step. He drives up the ice, gets an angle, and has an opportunity to score on a net that wasn't open, but he was given plenty of space to work with, and Grafton Park River will call for timeout. Ian Scary gets credit for the shorthanded goal. It'll be an unassisted shorty at 10:36, and that brings us to a timeout that we have here on the ice. 4-1 your score. Grafton Park River now trailing by 3 once again. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Timeout taken by Grafton Park River with a half a minute of power play time left, down by a score of 4-1. But Ian Scary adds a shorthanded goal to West Fargo's total today as Grafton Park River goes on the man advantage and has put a big dent in Grafton Park River's ability to come from behind in this one. Scary's a very dangerous offensive player, can make a lot of skaters look a little silly. Not that he did that time, he just had a really, really good snipe on a shot, didn't need a big opening in order to come up with what he was looking for, but it's a goal that really puts a crimp in what Grafton Park River was angling for on the man advantage, down 2 and now down 3. 10 seconds the power play left as Grafton Park River still in their own end looking for a breakout. Off the draw, David Jelinek drops it behind. Scary trying to pick off a pass intended for Trofgruben. Trofgruben wings one back up into the offensive end, and West Fargo's back at full strength. So the power play comes to an end with the result being a shorthanded goal in favor of West Fargo, and the Packers lead again by 3. They led 3-0. They now lead 4-1. Jonathan Presting up the ice for Grafton Park River, looking to Trofgruben. Loose puck to Moe. Backhander jabbed at Swenson, turned it aside. Moe trying to step back over into the corner against pressure coming from Jack Josephson. Out to the point, loose puck for Carson Thomas. He got it back to Moe. A drop off again looking for Presting. Moe turned it aside, Trofgruben as well. And now the loose puck picked up by West Fargo. And Rowan Schneck will bring it up ice offside with 5 minutes left in the third period of play. Stay with us in our post-game report. We'll go through the highlights of this one, final scoring summary, and set the stage for the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament. As the EDC tournament will continue in Grand Forks, in Fargo, and in West Fargo coming up on Tuesday. Penalty coming up against the Packers as a tripping call is going to be taken here by Rowan Schneck. Reached back behind him for a draw, and this will give Grafton Park River maybe a little bit of life here with 4:53 left to go in the third period. Schneck for tripping at 12:07. And it's another RBB Electric power play brought to you by RBB Electric, on call, on time, and online at rbbelectric.com. Puck comes out towards the left point. Halo Buchholz, or rather, Soren Olsen with control for Grafton Park River. They look into the corner for Drew Suda. Suda back behind the net. Spoilers need to move in a hurry here. Got to take advantage of the man advantage, but they can't really afford to do it towards the end of the power play. They need goals fast. Puck left circle, drive into traffic. Swenson knocks it down, tries to cover, cannot. Shot taken by Trace Anderson, and the puck will rotate back to the neutral zone. So the puck goes back through the neutral zone. And we'll see Grafton Park River go back to reform offensively. Puck on the right side, Trace Anderson coming up the ice. Dropped one off, shot goes wide of the net. It'll rotate back out into the neutral zone for Thomas Austin. And Austin will turn it back up ice. It'll be quickly driven back down by West Fargo in the form of Brody Medina. So Medina turns it back into the Grafton Park River end. And now Medina comes up with a takeaway as things getting a little loose here for Grafton Park River. Still 1:09 on the RBB Electric power play clock to go. Jonathan Presting tried to come up ice, and a blocked shot. Diving was Jack Josephson to take away an angle. Josephson now stepping in front of a return puck coming back to the right for Drew Suda. Suda back out towards the point. Thomas Austin with it. Back towards Suda. Drops one off into the corner. Moe got turned around. Loose puck back to Presting behind the net. Comes back to Trofgruben on the left point. Trofgruben a stop, a turn, able to keep it in the offensive end. A wrister up and over the bar against Swenson. Puck loose back to the right side for Austin. Austin defended by Medina, but Austin got it back, tried to play it back to the high slot, but Presting wasn't quite ready to receive the pass. 30 seconds left off the wall. Presting got it back, jabs it towards the net, ends up just wide. Swenson turning back to his left as the puck comes back towards the right point for Thomas Austin. Austin back in towards the corner. Suda, a turn. Scary came over to front him. Back to Suda in the right corner again. Feathers one back behind the net. Out in front, Presting a jab, and Swenson comes up with a stop. And a little extra shove on Jonathan Presting at the end of that play by Jack Josephson. They didn't like that. Presting and Suda were both lurking for a potential rebound, a rebound that never did come. But we'll see what happens as they unsort this. I don't expect much of anything would be called here. Just going to go ahead and try to get guys back to where they belong with 3 minutes and 2 seconds left to go here in the third period of play. 3:02 to go. And the officials getting together to talk about some things. So we'll see if they're going to call anything. Rowan Schneck is already in the penalty box. And that, of course, was the penalty that put the power play in place here for Grafton Park River. And now they'll go over and talk to the scorer's table. But as of yet, we don't see a lot of action here as to what's going to happen next. So we wait to find out what will take place. They opened the door for a minute, but I don't see anything coming of this. It looks like they're going to play penalty free in this situation. And probably the right situation. You can't fault a couple of guys looking for a rebound to try to keep their season afloat here, but you also can't fault a couple of guys for stepping in to defend their goalie either. And they're continuing to talk things over with the scorer's table and coming over to talk with both coaches here as well. So this is taking more time perhaps than you thought it might. And let's see where we get from here. Well, after all of that, I don't know if there were a couple of warnings that might have been issued or something along those lines, but after all of that, no penalties. And so we'll play on here with 3 seconds left of the power play. Grafton Park River has a chance to take the draw in the West Fargo zone with a man advantage. Power play comes to an end. Jelinek had the puck taken off his stick and a drive right side. Jonathan Preston gets kicked away by Liam Swenson. A turn back out towards the left. Troftgruben is there. Turn it back down towards the corner for Marcus Moe, and this will be swept clean, an empty net for Grafton Park River. And West Fargo iced the puck, did they not? I mean, there's an empty net for Grafton Park River out of the timeout, or actually, I guess, with the opportunity, they decided to pull the goalie here, but West Fargo sent the puck up the ice. I expected an icing call. Here's another shot at the empty net, and there we finally get the icing call. I got to be frank with you, I thought they missed the first one. I thought there should have been an icing call against West Fargo a little bit earlier than that, but the net's empty for Grafton Park River. So the net open for Grafton Park River. And we'll see what happens from here with the final few minutes of this one. Troftgruben has a shot that gets turned aside. A backhander through the slot. Marcus Moe trying to pick it up. Again, 6-on-5 hockey here for the remainder of the game, you would think. Back out in front, a wave at one wide open for Torin Beneda. He couldn't come up with it. Loose puck back to the right for Soren Olsen. Olsen turned it back towards the net. This will rotate back towards the left side. Puck back on the right, out in front, a jab at it again from Jonathan Preston that goes wide. And this will be played off the glass by Ian Scarry. Again, the net open, long rush to get up to it. Schneck with a backhander, great block shot that was made by Soren Olsen, diving to protect the empty net. And now here comes Grafton Park River up the ice, 4-on-3. Troftgruben on the left circle, high slot, wrister, and he had it deflect off a pipe. A dive back to get to it for Liam Swenson, and no goal will be scored. Unbelievable. How that didn't go in for Troftgruben is going to be on anybody. Watch this again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Troftgruben coming up, gets the shot free, bangs off a pipe, comes back across the crease, and Swenson lays out to get to it to protect the 3-goal lead. It's a freshman in the net, or rather, yeah, a 9th grader in the net for West Fargo, if the line sheet is correct here. And that's a huge play for the goaltender to defend a 3-goal lead. Again, with 1:20 to go, the extra attacker on the ice, and Troftgruben with a drive from the point that deflects free. 4-1, West Fargo by 3. The net's empty for Grafton Park River. And a hit against the near side wall. There's a penalty coming up. And now we've got all kinds of things going on. We've got 5 different men in there. We see pushing and shoving against the wall. They can't get control of it. Rylan Spanier got into it for West Fargo. Camarillo's in there for West Fargo. On the back end of it, Marcus Moe for Grafton. We've got officials trying to separate it. Beneda steps in as well for the Spoilers to try to defend a man that was on the ice. They're still exchanging words out there, and that turned into a melee at the end of the exchange. And we'll see the penalty sheet get some extra names on it here with the clock down to 1:10 to go. Haven't seen one of those in a while, but when you've got a team that's at the end of the season, perhaps they sense the end of the season coming, you might end up with something like that. And that's what it turns out to be. So they'll have to sort this one out. And it will be after the play comes to an end at 16, rather at 15:50. And we'll see what the calls are going to be here. A tough way for what has been a pretty good hockey game to finish here today, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's really been an entertaining hockey game. I know that for the Grafton Park River fans out there, perhaps not the way you wanted to see it come to an end, but nonetheless, it's been an entertaining hockey game here this afternoon. But the officials will get together to sort this one out as well. Meanwhile, with a 4-1 situation in favor of West Fargo over Grafton Park River, well, you start to make some plans on what the EDC is going to look like coming up next. And right now, you seem to see a situation coming together where the Packers will be in Grand Forks coming up on Tuesday night. And the last time those two teams played was down in West Fargo. And the Packers had a 2-0 lead or a 2-1 lead, something along those lines, on Grand Forks Central. Central then really sort of shot to life. I think they scored 6 unanswered goals at that point and kind of put it out of reach. But there were some moments in there where West Fargo made things rather difficult for a period of play on the top team in the Eastern Dakota Conference by the seeds anyway. Again, one play-in final is complete today. Devils Lake defeats Mayport area by a score of 2-1. And Devils Lake will be moving on to take on Grand Forks Red River on Tuesday night at 6 at Blue Line Iceplex, formerly known as Eagles Arena. And the winner here comes to Grand Forks Central. And what they're talking about right now, the reason why this is important, if anybody gets a game misconduct here for the Packers, they're not going to be a part of the conversation on Tuesday night. The next game that would be scheduled would be the opening round of the East Region Tournament. And so if you're a West Fargo Packer fan, you're a little nervous about this. Now, Grafton Park River has to come up with 3 goals in a minute 10, which is obviously going to be difficult. So Grafton Park River not exactly in the same spot, just due to the fact that the season doesn't have a next game if somebody loses a game misconduct situation here. But for West Fargo, you're looking at moving on in 70 seconds. But if you move on without personnel, that's going to be a tough situation. And right now, that seems to be the place that at least they're discussing down there in the scorer's table and amongst the officials. They haven't put anything on the board as of yet, but a very, very long conversation going on here. They may be trying to round up the players that were involved, and it all began with a hit that put a man on the ice, and somebody took, I guess, exception to it, and that turned into a back and forth there, and then we saw a number of other players getting involved, and I think at one point we probably had 8 players, 4 from each team, that got involved in that situation. So the officials have talked it over with West Fargo. Now they're going to come over and talk it over with Grafton Park River. And let's see here. Well, it looks like Ryland Spanier's game is going to come to an end. The Grafton Park River crowd likes that, and the West Fargo players are asking Grafton Park River to cheer louder. So Spanier has gone to the locker room, and that would likely mean that Ryland Spanier, third pair defender who's played a pretty good game for West Fargo, is not going to be available for the Packers when they play on Tuesday night against Grand Forks Central. Now, meanwhile, for Grafton Park River, Marcus Moe is going in the box, and Thomas Osund is going in the box. All the penalties will be at 15:50. So Moe and Osund will go into the box and will not be on the ice for the finish. But the bigger blow probably goes to West Fargo here, as we'll see a game disqualification for Ryland Spanier. And now we're going to see Camarillo go into the box for West Fargo. And West Fargo will also send Gavin Lee into the box. And I'm going to assume that Lee is going to serve the penalty for Spanier. So Camarillo goes to the box as well at 15:50 for West Fargo. But Lee is in there for the Packers. I don't think Lee has been on the ice for a shift today, but Gavin Lee, fourth line center, goes into the box presumably to serve the penalty for Rylan Spanier, who we saw leave the ice and head to the locker room. Nothing going up on the clock, so we're going to skate full strength for both teams for the final minute 10. And again, the net is empty on the Grafton Park Riverside. The Spoilers down 3, 4-1. We're into the final minute and change. And after all those penalties are sorted out, it remains 6-on-5 with the extra attacker on the ice for the Spoilers. And up the ice, a look by Medina. He couldn't quite get one free. Loose puck picked up by Torin Beneda. Troftgruben on the right. Troftgruben with a shove that comes in on Ashton Wigestrand. Shot from the point that's kicked away by Liam Swenson. And Swenson turns it back to the right wall, and the Packers will play it back up into the Grafton Park River zone. Augie Miller back to get to it. On the right, found Trace Anderson. Anderson looking at Drew Suda. Suda got through a pair of players. But Grafton, or actually with West Fargo's defense back, they're able to pick it free. Ian Scarry loses a stick on a stick-to-stick play on the left. Trace Anderson comes back with it, leaves it off for Troftgruben. 20 seconds left. Little flip towards the right side wall. And the season will come to an end for Grafton Park River this afternoon. They're calling out the penalties now. And we won't be able to we'll get the final call on the penalties. They're putting them in. But that's the end of the matchup. And West Fargo comes to Grafton and defeats Grafton Park River by a final score of 4-1 this afternoon. And with the win, West Fargo is on their way to the East Region Tournament. The Packers will move on into the next level, and the Packers will go up against their next opponent, which will be Grand Forks Central. And that next matchup will be on Tuesday night, and it will take place in Grand Forks at Purpur Arena. So that's the way the play-in matchup comes to an end. But more on our post-game report coming up. We'll take a look at the highlights from this matchup, get those ready for you, and also review those final penalties that were taken as well. But again, your final score is 4-1 with West Fargo defeating Grafton Park River this afternoon. Our post-game report coming up in just a few seconds. We'll have a 45-second break, and then we'll come back and take a look at those post-game highlights for those of you that might have missed something, so do stay with us. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX post-game show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Well, the West Fargo crowd coming to their feet as they take the Packers off the ice here today, and West Fargo will be advancing to the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament coming up on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Grafton Park River season will come to an end at a 5-14-2 mark today. Welcome to our coverage, and welcome back to our coverage of the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Our post-game report today brought to you by Spray Advantage and the Ski and Bike Shop. Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The difference between Spray Advantage and their competitors is that Spray Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, and seed tenders. 2 locations to serve you. in Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Spring Advantage, make them a part of your agricultural game plan now and for years to come. And brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure awaits. The Ski and Bike Shop has what you're looking for to keep things moving with the winter that we have out there, to keep you moving outside with the fun things. Trek bicycles, which are the standard when it comes down to bicycles, and we're talking about not just Trek bikes, but the high-end, really, really nice bikes. I've got one of those myself, and you put the fat tires on them. They'll chew up snow so you can keep bike riding all throughout the course of the winter as long as you can handle the cold, right? And beyond that, they've also got you fit for snowboards and boots and skis coming up for the upcoming summer season. Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure awaits. West Fargo, couple of big goals that came in short succession. In the second period, 2 goals, 2 minutes and 20 seconds apart, take a 3-0 lead. There was a goal that came back for Grafton Park River that came from the defensive end of things, the David Jelinek goal that cut it to a 2-goal margin, but West Fargo adds a shorthanded goal in the third, and that was the way this thing came to an end today, as the Packers end up with a 4-1 win to move their way on to the next round of the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament and keep their season alive. And for Grafton Park River, their season will come to an end today. Let's take a look at our highlights that we had from the matchup today, and they're brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent in Grand Forks. Get started with a goal around the net and just waiting on the right side of things. Tristan Wynn, that was started by Halo Buchholz that put it in behind the net. He moved up a line today after a bad penalty for West Fargo, but Buchholz ends up starting the play. Wynn scores to make it 1-0. Then in the second period, 2 goals in short succession. That was Wiggestrand, Ashton Wiggestrand, waiting for a pass from the point. He got it, dumped it into an opening on the right side, and then later we'd see a goal. Actually, that was Medina. My apologies. That was Medina's goal. Here's Wiggestrand's goal, but 2 about the same way from the left side of the ice. It opened things up on the right, and a couple of players there on their forehand side make it 3-0. But just a minute and some change later, a rush up the ice for Grafton turns into a shot near side from David Jelinek, and Jelinek scores going across the body. That made it 3-1, and Grafton looked to be back into it here. But meanwhile, Ian Scarry kind of puts an end to this thing today for West Fargo. Short-handed here, Scarry picks the stick, drives up the ice, and scores on shots. That made it 4-1 at that point. And then just for good measure, we see the freshman goalie Liam Swenson making a huge play, diving across the crease to cover up a puck that was behind him. Big defensive play at the end to defend that 3-goal lead. And those are the highlights from today's matchup. And they're brought to you by American Family Insurance and Tyler Nagel, your agent, as West Fargo gets the 4-1 victory. Let's take a look at our scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, and it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. We'll go through those penalties that came up at the end of this thing as well. But the opening goal for West Fargo today from Tristan Wynn. Wynn, Medina, Wiggestrand, and Scarry all scored today for West Fargo. 4 goals, 4 different players. Ian Scarry, the only man with a multiple-point game today for West Fargo. Scarry had an assist on Brody Medina's goal, and then Scarry scores shorthanded, unassisted in the third period to kind of finish things off. But a balanced day for West Fargo. Wynn scores from Clevin and Buchholz. Medina scores from Bosch and Scarry. Wiggestrand scores from Len and Camarillo, and Scarry scores shorthanded. So 2 points today for Scarry, a goal and an assist. And then really balanced play today for West Fargo to move on. For Grafton Park River, David Jelinek scores with an assist coming from Augie Miller. And Miller's assist, David Jelenek's goal. Jelinek will end the season with 4 goals and 17 points. And Miller won the season with 4 assists, and 8 points on the year. But again, 4 goals from 4 different players today for West Fargo. And West Fargo at the end has 10 points and only 1 multi-point player today, so their balance really carried through in a 4-1 victory that they had here today. Now, as far as those penalties at the end of the game, here's what we had as far as the penalties were concerned. The penalties go to Ryland Spanier. He got a game ejection for grabbing the face mask. That's what Spanier was ejected for in that situation. That came at 15:50. Liam Swenson for West Fargo took a roughing minor. The goalie ends up taking a roughing minor, and that's why we saw Lee in the box. It wasn't to fill Spanier's penalty. That penalty was to fill the goalie's penalty, Liam Swenson. He took a roughing minor, and Ryan Camarillo took a cross-checking minor that came at 15:50. They did not record the penalties for Grafton Park River, but Grafton Park River had 2 men finish in the box as well, with Marcus Moe and also I believe Thomas Austin going into the box. We're not sure what their penalties were for. They did not enter those in the final score sheet today. but that's how those penalties finished up at the end of the game. And actually, we are now seeing it. One just did come up on the score sheet as well. Jonathan Presting took a checking from behind game ejection for Grafton. I did not see him go into the locker room, but their locker room's right behind the bench. But Presting took a game ejection for checking from behind at 15:50 as well. And so that penalty was being served by one of those men for Grafton Park River. We're not sure of why the other was in the box, but apparently there were 2 game ejections, one for Ryland Spanier and one for Jonathan Presting. Spanier for West Fargo and Presting for Grafton Park River at the end of the game. And those are your post-game highlights that we have for you today, and our scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, and it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. One final break in our post-game report. We'll come back with the updated bracket and our 3 stars of the game, defensive player of the game, and more. We've got awards coming up from PS Garage Doors and from Finest Auto Trim. Stay with us as we continue our post-game report next. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with Harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
This is the KNOX post-game show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our post-game report. Again, your final score this afternoon is West Fargo 4, Grafton Park River 1. Post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage. Everything you need for spraying an application on your farm in the Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure awaits. Ryan Cunningham and Luca Carpenter with your coverage here today. Our All True scoreboard update brought to you by All True. And again, All True bringing you our scoreboard updates throughout the year, and they bring us the update that Devils Lake will be the other team that's advancing into the East Region Tournament as the Firebirds defeat Mayport area today by a final score of 2-1. And so with that, the final look at the opening round of the East Region Tournament is now available for us. Those of you with our video coverage, you can see it in front of you. Grand Forks Central will take on the 9 seed West Fargo. Coming up on Tuesday, 6 o'clock at Purpur Arena. West Fargo Cheyenne is the 4 seed. They get Fargo Shanley the 5. That'll take place at the West Fargo Sports Center, 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Grand Forks Red River, the 2 seed, will get 7-seeded Devils Lake. That will take place on Tuesday at 6 o'clock at Blue Line Iceplex, formerly Eagles Arena in Grand Forks. And Fargo Davies, the 3 seed, will host number 7 Fargo North at 7 o'clock. That will be at Farmers Union Insurance Rink. We plan to bring you the Central matchup, the Red River matchup, and the Fargo Davies Fargo North matchup coming up on Tuesday on KNOX Live Sports. For those of you on the radio side, Red River and Devils Lake will be on KNOX Radio. Let's go to our post-game awards. We'll start with our PS Garage Doors 3 stars of the game, and they're brought to you by PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service. PS Garage Door has any make and model of service of garage door you're looking for. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks and in Devils Lake. Well, as far as stars of the game are concerned today, third star of the game today for West Fargo is going to be Liam Swenson. Swenson, the freshman goalie, steps into a really interesting spot today, having to help his team move on to the next level. Just a freshman, but he made some terrific plays here today. There's no question about it. Had to stand up to some flurries early against Grafton Park River and did so, and ends up with a really solid effort for the freshman goaltender today. Didn't get put in too many bad spots. West Fargo bought into helping him out, but Liam Swenson, when he had to make some plays, did. Giving up just one goal. The freshman goaltender, Liam Swenson, will be our number 3 star of the game that we have for you today. Our number 2 star of the game today is going to go out to, I'll tell you what, Halo Buchholz is going to get the number 2 star of the game today. And Buchholz ends up with an assist in today's game, but I'm going to tell you, for those of you that are West Fargo fans, why we end up giving him some recognition. He steps up from 4th line to 3rd when Brody Lawagi took the checking from behind penalty, and We didn't see him return to the game today. West Fargo decided that Milwaukee would not step back in that role. Buchholz sets up the opening scoring play today and played extremely well for a third-line winger and helped his line come together for a goal. Tristan Wynn, Riley Clevin, and Brody Milwaukee all combined in that goal. And so I was impressed with Buchholz stepping into that spot, so we'll give him the number 2 star today. And as far as the number 1 star today is concerned, well, there's a lot of different places that could go, but Ian Scarry, when you come up as the only man with multiple points in a day that a lot of defense was being played, a goal and an assist, including a shorthander to kind of put an end to it, Ian Scarry will be our number 1 star today. So our 3 stars of the game will be from West Fargo. Liam Swenson, Halo Buchholz, and Ian Scarry are 3 stars of the game that we have for you today. Our next award is our Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the game, and it's brought to you by Finest Auto Trim Defensive Award. Big or small, they cover it all at Finest Auto Trim. Finest Auto Trim specializes in recovering boat seats. They recover vehicle seats. If you've got a hot rod project that you're working on for the upcoming summer, they can help you with the seats for that as well to make sure that that car is ready to show for the upcoming summer season. And of course, they also can custom make covers for things that you may pick up this spring that you need to store outside. If you go out and get a new boat or a new pontoon and you're storing it outside, Finest Auto Trim can custom create a cover to protect it from all the elements. Finest Auto Trim, big or small, they cover it all. That award is going to go to Grafton Park River's David Jelinek. I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged a spoiler today, and David Jelinek, really a fantastic play today to score the lone goal for Grafton Park River, but Jelinek was involved in a number of defensive plays. Threw the body around. He took some tough assignments today for Grafton Park River, and I thought Jelinek played well for a blue liner this afternoon. David Jelinek will pick up the Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game award. Northland Community and Technical College partners with KNOX Live Sports to stamp out hunger in our region with Goals Against Hunger. And again, throughout the course of the year, as teams score, the fight against hunger also scores. Northland Community and Technical College can offer you the path to a liberal arts degree that can give you so many different options in today's career world, and you can start that journey for less right in your own backyard in East Grand Forks, Minnesota. Northland Community and Technical College with Goals Against Hunger. Today, 5 goals were scored in the matchup. $5 will be donated by Northland Community and Technical College to the Pioneer Food Pantry to help stamp out hunger in our region. And that's going to do it for our coverage of play-in hockey today here in Grafton as West Fargo defeats Grafton Park River 4-1. Again, we're back with you on Tuesday. Radio side for Red River hosting Devil's Lake. That'll be at 6 o'clock at Blue Line Iceplex. Video side, Central hosting West Fargo on the video side at 6 on Tuesday. And also in Fargo, for Fargo North, taking on the Fargo Davies Eagles. That'll be on video side, and of course we'll have video of Red River going up against Devil's Lake as well. Luca Carpenter was our videographer today. I'm Ryan Cunningham. Your final score from Centennial Center in Grafton is West Fargo 4 and Grafton Park River 1. On the radio side, back to regular programming. Thank you for joining us. Come out and see us at the Grand Outdoor Show, which continues until 6 o'clock tonight. I saw some great things there earlier today. I'm headed back there myself. And for those of you on the video side, thank you for joining us. We'll see you Saturday on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.